Spelljammer 998. This is session 5 of Spelljammer. This session starts on the 18th of Nim. So, last session, you guys went to explore a crime scene that Vera de Caneth had pointed you guys towards, with the understanding that if you returned any evidence, she would pay you handsomely for it. You guys got there to find it still watched and guarded by what you originally thought were Sharn Watch. But after you guys did a little bit of B&E, a little bit of breaking and entering, you guys got in there and found it to be a fairly large investigation, and managed to subdue one of the investigators and get a little bit of dirt out of him. You learned that they're spending a little extra time trying to figure out how House Kenneth has begun to create these auto-gnomes. I think Echo also happened to catch a slip from this person you were interrogating that this actually seems to be the Dark Lanterns posing as Sharn Watch to investigate this crime scene. You also learned that there is written dossiers/records for this investigation that happened to have been in the building at the time, and you also learned that recently one of the people on the suspect list has turned up dead. You eventually got the name Oswald from, I think, Lifter. You guys went to speak with one of Drix's old friends, so to speak, who gave you all a little bit more information. I think that was the biggest piece he gave y'all, was the name Oswald. And I think he helped clarify about the Dark Lanterns. And then you guys went out shopping, which was cool. Joey bought some things. He got with me about that, but I think Randy also bought a sword. And Echo bought his bow, I think. Is his +1 bow on his character sheet?
I don't think so. Oh, actually it is. Just kidding.
I was about to say that should have been something he could add himself. It sounds like he did. Perfect. Perfect. Is there anything else you guys were trying to remember, had any questions, or that I forgot? Snide comments, remarks, all that jazz.
I don't think so. We still have 2 days before the ship leaves, right? For the other mission for Tarkanen.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, because it is the 18th, and that leaves on the 20th. Oh, today is, what's the fun? I was going to give you all the day of the week. I'll find it. Okay. Hayden, is there anything you wanted to purchase while they were on their shopping spree? Goob, is there anything you want to purchase? Excuse me.
I honestly, I can't really think of anything that I would need.
That's fine. You're welcome to save your money like many of them did, but it's up to you. I figured I would ask in case there was something you was after.
Is a potion still like 50 gold? Is that
I believe so.
pretty standard?
Yes. Let me double check that price, but I believe that's right for a standard healing potion.
Well, none of us thought to buy potions.
Y'all weren't exactly in an adventuring district. Not exactly the, not like they're sitting on every shelf in every place.
Okay. I'd like to get... Oh man, this is tough. I'm gonna get 6, and... yeah, 6.
Okay, so that's 300 gold. Okay.
Alright.
Alright.
I have that in my bag as well.
The potions or the gold?
The gold.
Should have a little more than that, I think.
Well, 310, but...
Okay, so what I've got down...
I don't think...
What I've got down here for
I was
you
going to say,
is...
I don't think I could add it.
Yeah, probably not. So what you should have, because I've been keeping all this in an Excel spreadsheet, is 6 something. Where'd you go? It should be 602.
602.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Cool. Alright, well, I will mark down 302 then, because I do want those 6 potions.
Heard. sorry. Had to hit my sales spreadsheet, see how much you have. Heard. So don't forget to add those 6 potions to your inventory. That's a mighty good way to save your spell slots there. Handing out potions to people. Oh, I forgot to mention, because I just forgot. We are the formal announcement for the long rest, gritty realism rule that we will probably do what we were talking about in the chat the other day, which was every 3 short rest. You know, short rest is now 8 hours, so essentially overnight. Every 3 short rest will equal a long rest. So you guys have a little more leeway with destroying stuff. It's going to be great, actually.
Cool. Yeah, I'm in favor of that. I think it's a fun compromise.
Okay. It looks like I sped through our recording real quick a couple of minutes ago, and it looks like we ended with you guys going back to the warehouse to talk to Vera DeCanneth. Don't remember 100% what y'all were going to say to her, but I'm assuming you're taking your evidence back. Oh, sorry, Roman. Well, taking your story back. So you guys are welcome to go into the warehouse and speak with her if y'all like, or you're welcome to do anything you want. That's the point of Sandbox.
Yeah, I mean, I think we were going back just to report back kind of what we found and let her know that the Sharn Watch was asking a whole lot of very pointed questions. I guess I assume we're already inside. I'll just go ahead and interact with her, and I'll say, you know, we went over there and did some investigating in your warehouse, and I gotta tell you, it sounds to me like they were digging into you guys as much as they were digging into the folks that might have stolen some things. That could just be that I was picking up the wrong context clues. I'm not sure, but that's the vibe I was getting.
We kind of expected that. We assumed they were taking a extra amount of time for a reason. Were you able to?
Yeah.
Were you able to find anything out about the people who did the crime? Any luck doing their jobs for them? I guess you would say.
No, not too much. We got a couple of hints, a couple clues. We know that one of the primary suspects is no longer with us, so asking him any questions is probably off the table.
Not for a good cleric. Good healer. I don't know how they would say that. Weird world where there are literal hospitals.
Oh, true. Otherwise, no, we didn't really get a ton of like physical documents or anything like that.
Well, that is unfortunate. Did you learn anything of use? Did you get a name for this so-called person?
They dropped a name, Oswald, I believe is what
I
it
believe
said.
you guys were also told that he was a member of the clergy for the Church of the Silver Throne.
Oh, I don't remember that.
I think so. I'm pretty sure that probably the person that told you that. At least I'm mostly sure.
Okay.
That y'all were told. But if you
I'm
relay that to her
pretty
too,
sure you did say that he was. Yeah.
but if you relay that to her too, you know, she doesn't seem to recognize. She says, "Well, that's unusual. That's in one of the upper wards." But no idea why they were investigating him.
Didn't get a ton out of that.
Interesting. Well, that is unfortunate, but that's the way it is. She kind of furrows her brow. She says, obviously that did not quite meet the terms of our agreement, but I believe that both knowledge and discrepancy is valuable, and she will offer you each. She'll throw down there on the desk another 200 gold pieces each, and then she'll get some papers out of the desk and kind of shuffle them and lay them down. She says, for another question. Did you choose to tell her that it's not actually the Sharn Watch?
Oh yeah, because they were independent investigators working with the Sharn. Oh no, it was a different organization. What were they called? The
The Dark Lanterns.
Dark Lanterns. Yeah,
Or-
the CIA.
I think I
Yeah,
said
I am
last
gonna. I
session
am.
the equivalent of
I am gonna.
CIA, KGB, MI6. Like, they don't each have a particular, like, I'm not going that far. This is not the CIA, and the other one's not the KGB, etc., etc.
Oh, and you were right, by the way. I checked my notes just now, and you said member of the Temple of the Silver Flame. Yep. Yeah, I'll convey that as well, because I don't really have any allegiances to the Shard Watch or anything else. I don't really have any particular carings about her knowing who did what.
Well, she might have reacted a little bit surprised, but at this point, she'll take the documents laid out. She'll say, "This is the contract to become, for lack of a better term, A1's bodyguards. If you really broke into a Dark Lantern crime scene and made it out alive, I imagine you are mostly capable of protecting an automaton. Has there been any discussion of my terms?" That is actually in the dossier, if you guys would like to go read that for yourselves. I made a text channel called Dossier, and the the high-level overview of her terms is listed there. Should have added you guys with that.
TLDR.
I am sorry.
We can't use them for crimes, and we can't protect him from scrying or location spells.
Yeah,
Or selling.
not just
Already
can't
part of
use
it.
him for crimes, cannot profit from him monetarily in any way. At least I think. If you guys find some loophole in the way I phrased that, then you find it. That's the fun part of contracts. But the way it's worded is the idea that, like, you can't sell, trade, barter, or monetize him, any of his body parts, any magical service he provides, or anything you learn about how he works. And of course, there's a whole non-disclosure line about anything you learn about how he's made, how he works, what he can do. It even says personality. Cannot you agree to a non-disclosure agreement for those things? Then, of course, that you have to do your best to protect him.
Just put a bit of pressure on us. You get questions about a little sentient robot man running around with you. Like, people are going to want to know things. And
I mean, it depends on who's asking. Well, I mean, yes and no.
Yeah.
Very powerful person wants to know, might be obnoxious. Yeah, almost anybody else, you just tell them to fuck off because there's 6 of you. 6 wild spacers. Like, think about it this way.
Needless to say,
y'all were 5 or 6
Sorry.
adventurers became lords last campaign. Like, you don't fuck with a group of adventurers. So you're right. Depends. I'm trying to give another. The other thing mentioned that Kenneth cannot be held responsible if they scry on you while you're doing illegal activities. They can't be held responsible for anything that they learn about. And like you said, can't block him from being scried.
That was one clarification I wanted to, because I don't know a ton about, like, scrying or how that actually works. So because he's with us, she could also, like, hear in on things we're doing or see what we're up to because he's part of, like, the general area we're in.
I don't think so. I think it only actually ever shows him. I'm not sure about that. It will show the area around, maybe? I don't think you can hear with scrying, so, like, I think she would just see him. She might see you guys.
Okay. I know Davos had done it, but honestly, when he was doing it, I only paid attention to the story points, not really how it worked.
You can see and hear through the sensor if you were there. Okay, so it is see and hear. Maybe not be able to see you guys, but could hear you guys. I will say that this all says monetized, but Vera would clarify that you are 100% welcome to use him as a spell jammer. That is his intended purpose. He was created expressly to fly to be the spell jammer, to fly the spell jammer in these crews.
That's super helpful.
Interesting.
Yeah, I have a question. I'd ask her. Yeah, well, I assume that she showed us the terms at this point, right? Like we're essentially reading over it. Where's
You
my
guys had
lawyer?
you guys had a unfortunately Demos is your lawyer, but well probably Echo too. But you had a copy of it that was you were sent with last time you were here.
Okay. Yeah. So I'd ask her what happens if we inadvertently break any part of this contract.
The spell pops. You face the consequences.
And what might that be?
Oh, that's a good question.
So
Well,
all of us need to take this contract.
mhm.
There's
You
no
can.
way out of that, huh?
Unfortunately, not. You have to understand we are. He is the first of his kind, a commodity, the only of his kind until the other two are finished. If you were to break the contract, purposely or inadvertently, we would know your location immediately and for up to a week after that. There would be some amount of psychic damage, doubtful enough to purpose or what's the you know, permanently incapacitate any of you.
And then I would ask, is it classroom rules? One person fails and everybody's punished, or what's the deal here?
She makes a face. That's a very good question. It's my understanding that the contract only acts upon the trespasser, the transgressor. There we go.
Okay.
I don't think I have any more questions.
Yeah.
You all are welcome to think on it, but until then, I will have to withhold that portion of payment.
I don't know if I really have any issues with it.
Oh, I actually want to do it only because I think it's really cool to immediately have like a random little robot guy as part of our party, but I'm not thinking like long-term consequences or how difficult it might be to keep him safe or even keep him a secret. But honestly, I think maybe part of me also doesn't care. I'm just like I don't want to speak for the whole party, but I think I'm kind of down.
So what time is it currently?
Let me think about that. So you guys were in. God dang it, Devin. Y'all went shopping. It is probably closer to the end of the day, because you guys got up in the morning, went to investigate, then went shopping, then came back here. So maybe not dark, but approaching dark.
Okay, so I think that this is probably a pretty safe deal to make, or a contract to sign anyway. But in an effort to like make sure that he is, I mean, yeah, it's truly safe. What if we had somebody pretend to be our Spelljammer whenever we were like out and about, so no one's like, well, the Spelljammer never comes off the ship, or there's not trying to look for anybody. Like, what if we try to like really covertly keep everything under wraps?
Yeah, and we do have somebody who could be a spelljammer if we didn't have A1. It's just I like the idea of having a little robot guy.
No,
No, I think this is a fantastic idea.
yeah.
Still.
There's also 3 of you, I think, that could fly the Spelljammer.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I didn't know how strict the rules were for that, but yeah,
It's
I
phrased
still
as
think
you can use magic.
a spellcaster. Yes.
okay. Okay, cool. Yeah, maybe if one of us is like, I do the flying, or just in
Yeah,
case. That
and I
way,
think
like no probing eyes or
uh,
anything.
did I'm gonna ask her. It seemed like you kept him pretty locked away when we first got here. You ever take him out for any reason?
Not particularly. He has been allowed to patrol the outside with Oz sometimes, but no. It was obviously dangerous to take him out and about for a long period of time. Everyone
Yeah,
will
you're
start
telling
screaming
me.
about mini Warforged.
You got any clothes or a cloak or anything he likes?
She makes a face. I'm sure we can find something. I usually just illusion him. Actually, I take that
Okay.
back. She probably would take him places. I just put that together. So I think her answer would be that he does sometimes go out on errands with her, illusioned as a gnome.
Do we have anybody that could do that from our party, though? I don't know if I can or not.
I think Demos could. I won't exactly volunteer him right this second, unless we find out he's the only one that could.
Okay, it's okay. We can get like a cloak or
Not
whatever
Barb.
or something.
Zephyr may also have some illusion magic.
Yeah, I think we just dress him up.
Yeah, just
That's
yeah.
Fair enough.
Slap
Who's
some
going to dress him up?
gobble
I gotta
clothes
ask.
on him or
Someone will have to make a. You could make several checks. You make a deception check. You could make a performance check, like the idea of dressing an actor. Could make an insight check to determine how good your disguise is.
ooh, I could
I
do
was
that.
I was thinking more like you were asking who was going to dress him because he was going to fight you like a toddler, and I was going to make an animal handling check.
Animal handling.
I'm afraid
that's
not.
Great.
I just want to know who's going to have to attempt to skillfully disguise this small automaton.
I'll take a chance. I'm gonna take a chance and see if I can do it.
Do it.
You
Yeah,
said insight
I mean, I
was an
have good
option?
deception
Yes.
too.
Deception is also an option. 21. Oh, sorry. TV's low. Okay. I'm trying to get DMS pulled up. I'm just dumb. Forgot I need to do that. That's pretty good. So by the time you get done, you guys find some shoes for him that keep his metal feet from clanging on the cobblestones, and a pants and shirt that fit for the most part. But you do also find both a large, what seems to be essentially a sun hat, and a cloak that fits over him. A gnomish size cloak. So as long as no one looks too closely at him. As long as no one gives more than a glance or two at him, it's pretty difficult to tell that he's made of metal. I would like to think you guys even probably get a bandana or something to tie around his face. So really, you just have to catch the eyes, which they may or may not do. If he doesn't look anybody in the eyes, keeps his head down, and his hat kind of over his head, you guys are fairly confident. Goob, you're fairly confident that he won't be noticed by anybody unless they give great scrutiny.
How intelligent is he?
He can make conversation and talk. The best you guys can tell, he is as intelligent as a Warforged, and they're their own race. So like,
Okay, so just like regular ass dude.
yeah, Autognomes in Spelljammer are a race. So you can assume that they come in that spectrum of intelligences.
Yeah, if anybody questions it, Randy will get really defensive and be like, "You
Like,
making
don't look
fun
at
of
my
my son
kid."
and his prosthetics?
Yeah.
He was
He
in a
gets-
horrific injury.
Yeah. Are you looking at my kid?
Man, I really don't want to sign the rest of the party's lives away, but I want the robot.
That is tough, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, Zephyr's not crazy about going into magical contracts, but he'd get over it eventually.
I mean, I think Demos is about it. I'm not as entirely sure about Echo. You guys, if you have something else you were going to do instead, you could come back to her later.
Yeah. Let's think about it. Yeah.
I understand that there's only 3 of you and there's 6 in the group, so like, I understand if you'd feel comfortable with one more person to say yes or no.
Yeah. It's like I'll
Um,
vote. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I understand.
Can I keep my role for?
For dressing you up, for sure. Just help me
Yeah.
remember.
Okay. Okay. Cool. All right. Yeah. I feel better if we like waited and got at least one more person to weigh in.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I'll disengage conversation then. I'll sort of circle around him and I'll look at Goob and I'll say, "It's a pretty fine job you did there, partner. I'll tell you what though, I think maybe we need to take a walk, think about some things, maybe sleep on it. But, sorry we couldn't get more info for you. Thanks for the offer."
Of course. This could open the way to more business engagements. Bree and I have been had discussed in the past before you all showed up a expeditionary team of sorts. If if we were going to be working closely as you guys were guarding A1, then perhaps that is meant to be in some ways. The discussion for
We
down the road.
we knew that Kenneth was a part of what Bree was doing, but did we know that those two had directly spoken or were working closely together?
You, Bree gave you guys directions to the warehouse,
Yeah.
and you
Okay.
also, I guess maybe putting too many pieces together, but they told you they recently fled to that warehouse from the laboratory. So she knew where it was, even though that was somewhere they had recently fled to.
Okay. Yeah, I'm still thinking about what kind of info I want to give to Sly, and I really don't want to close any doors, but
Yeah, that's
that makes
also
it
a
tough.
tough one to do without at least one more person.
It is, but you guys have time to discuss it or do anything else you would like to do. You know, not you're not tied to one way or the other, or to go to one place or another. You can, if there's something you guys want to do, feel free to fill a little time doing that. But I know that's hard to do if you haven't thought about it ahead of time.
Yeah, because I got nothing else on the docket, and I don't really want to split from the party. I would like to go at some point before we talk to Sly. I would like to go talk to Thora, but I don't. It's not a short trek, um,
I mean,
and I also feel weird splitting from the party.
I'll say that
Uh,
you know where they are. Like now that you found them again. So even if they had moved, you know where to start. Those are the freshest thieves' cant signs. I don't think you could. Um, yeah. If you would like to leave the tavern that night to go talk to her, I would say you could do that. You won't be deprived of your rest or anything, but
Okay. Yeah, that'll be like when we decide we're wrapping up the day kind of
okay.
situation
It's
then.
getting close to that time now. After you guys get done talking with Vera, it probably is almost dark. But no, not late enough y'all have to go to bed, but towards
mhm.
the end of the day.
Um,
Okay.
Devin, how on the fly do you want to be with stuff? Because I could throw something out about like uh a personal errand.
Just tell me what you want to do. I most of the time I can find an organic way to put a pause on something so that I can prep it if I have to.
Okay. Do you remember I'm trying to look for like a magic seal to forge a letter to like basically like ruin a rival's slash bully's reputation?
Yes.
Okay. Could I use one of our thievy friends, or well, I mean, of course, I'd ask if they're up for it, but potentially use them to find some like thieves' cant to see if I can find like a rare goods dealer that might be able to at least point me in the direction of where
Of
to
the
find.
material or the thing you're looking for.
Yeah.
I see. Are you looking to make this? I think that's an awesome idea. Are you looking to make this thing or purchase this thing? I'm trying to pull up your sheet now so I can reread it.
My original idea was to like purchase it or
Okay.
trade for it or
Okay.
something.
No, for sure. Which so Echo is essentially more like a spy than a thief, but Drix and Randy are you both know have ties to criminal organizations.
Okay.
How would you ask them about this thing?
So I've had a little bit of interaction with Randy so far, so I might like, it's pretty clear that we're hitting a point where it's like, okay, we have some big decisions to come up on. We want to talk it over, think on it a little bit. Um, so in Goob's mind, like there's a little bit of time to fill now, so he would like kind of like pull Randy aside, like, hey, you've helped us a lot with your street knowledge, your connections. Could you do me a favor, maybe? I'd be happy to repay it.
Yeah, I'll lean over and say, "Hey, brother, you didn't strike me as a party top, but whatever you need, I'm down to help. I could probably get you something."
Okay, cool. So I'm looking for this really specific artifact, I guess. Um, it's real. It, correct me if I'm wrong, Devin, but this is a very rare item.
Seems to be.
Yeah. It's not going to be easy to come by, and it's probably not even here. But I need to find this thing. I've got some obligations I need to fulfill.
Um, yeah, you want to tell me a little bit about what it is you're after, so I can have an idea what type of person we're looking for?
It's a magical artifact. It helps. I've just been told what I need to get this person to have them help me out, basically. Um, it's a magical seal, um, like a wax seal, but it's really great at imitating, I guess, other seals. It can magically like forge something, um, and I just need to get a hold of one.
All right, sounds mighty handy to me. You keeping it or handing it over?
I gotta hand it over, but I don't see why we wouldn't be able to use it while I have it.
Like the way you think, brother. Um, and at that point, I guess I would probably either try to think of people who deal in artifacts, like smugglers or people who would maybe illegally move items like that, or a high-end magic shop. But I don't. This doesn't sound like the kind of thing that would be sort of displayed in a glass case at the front of a magic shop, you know?
Yeah,
This sounds more like a semi-illegal artifact that
yeah, it's pretty.
semi-illegal people are gonna have.
I'm assuming it's illegal. Yeah, like it's probably not cool to be towing one of these around.
I do
Most
Maybe
find
look at
likely.
it.
It is definitely a different kind of crime than the kind of crime that Drix and Randy generally inhabit. But I would say that you know at least you can ask Thora about it and Marcus about it. And there are probably a small handful of people in the House Tarkanen that you could go that have at least dabbled in, I guess we'll call it white collar crime. Well,
Like collar crime.
that sounds very nifty for all levels of crime, but most useful, I would imagine, at that kind of almost organized crime kind of. I would say both of you probably realize that the Dask, which those of you who don't know, in Eberron, the Dask are essentially they're kind of analogous to the Mafia in Sharn. They're mostly gnomes. They're and yeah, that's as far as I'll go with that. But they mostly analogous to the Mafia. And
Okay.
you guys from House Tarkanen would know of them.
Yeah, I, well, it would probably happen organically, but Randy specifically does not like the Dask. Um, not very cordial towards them, if unless absolutely necessary, but generally no. The Dask, you say, a bunch of dirty murderers and pillagers, what they are.
Okay.
Their cause is different. There was some. You know a couple of people you could talk to. And
I was gonna ask too because my background is smuggler, so technically I'm acquainted with quote. That's why I mentioned it, like other smugglers. So I was wondering if I could maybe try to hit up some spots about the supply chain and see if anybody had heard of somebody who might be peddling something like this or dealing something similar to it.
That's a good idea. You can make an investigation check on your way to talk to Thora if you would like.
Okay. If only my investigation was higher than a +0. Oh.
Sorry, you're looking for a specific thing, my friend.
Oh.
4. Interesting. You. So, I'll say there comes a point with a roll like that you can continue to investigate, or like you reach a point it's getting late enough that you have to go talk to Thora, or it's going to be too late. So you can continue to investigate, try to find this information, or you can go ahead and go talk to Thora.
I think we can go ahead and talk to Thora. I'm trying not to rock the boat.
Okay.
You know. So I'm trying to be like, all right, yeah, cool. I appreciate you. I appreciate you helping me look. Maybe, maybe, maybe later we'll get an opportunity to try again.
Okay. Sounds fair enough to me.
Mhm.
Hi ho. Hi ho.
Yeah. You still gonna go talk to Thor or no?
Yeah, I think I'm
Yeah,
guessing at
yeah,
that
let's
point
get
we'll just head straight there. Before I assume that a smuggler is actually a smuggler and it's like undercover Shore Watch, like surprise police.
Not quite.
Let's not do that.
Not even that
Let's
one's.
not
I
do
don't know
that.
about that. They're busy trying to steal, Dragon Mark secrets and shit. Shame.
So yeah, I guess
Yeah,
I'll
it
try to
doesn't.
lead us back over.
Okay. It doesn't take you long since you know where they are. Even they haven't moved yet, so you return to the same meeting place that you did. That shouldn't. I should say it doesn't take as long as last time, especially since you're not going way deep down to Old Sean. You three venture off, moving packs like smart adventurers. Down to Randy leads you guys back to where the door is, which is guess you guys didn't really get a password or anything, but not not long after knocking on the door, you guys are let in by the same doorkeep that was there last time. You do see Marcus and Thora both um, seemingly poring over the war table, the battle table.
All right,
Well, it is
shout across.
because actually the other thing I say is notably more empty. You imagine quite a few of the hands that were here are now working tirelessly to load one of the spelljammers with the dust.
Cool. I'll go ahead and announce our presence. Shout across the room. Hey Thora, back pretty quick. Got a little sidetracked with something, and I have a friend who is looking for something pretty specific. We struck out trying to find some contacts on our own. Was hoping you might have some info or know somebody we could talk to. It's my buddy Goob over here. If you want to describe what's going on and what it is you're looking for.
I stepped forward and I'm like, hey, so I'm looking for something really, really specific. And I explain the whole deal with like what this thing does. Um, and I don't know if this is okay with you, Devin, but I kind of envisioned it being kind of like people are aware it's a thing. It's not like a bespoke item.
Mhm.
It could be however rare you want it to be. But yeah, it's just like you know,
No,
not like something that's going to have to be manufactured or anything.
no, yeah. So Thora, upon hearing what you described, she says, I have heard of things like this before. They're very handy actually. We don't have any on us at this time, but the last person to supply us with these was a man named Bar Shizan. Let me put that where y'all can put it.
Or Shizan.
Just
Yeah,
put
I'm
that
gonna
where
need
y'all
that
can
to
say
stop.
it, so I can spell.
Cool.
She does inform you guys that he seems to be a fence for the Dask, often either fencing material to them or from them. We're kind of working both ways. Says she doesn't know too much more about him beyond that, but just that his items are usually good. That he's never sold her anything that was bunk.
Okay. Write it down. Seems to be reputable.
Seems to be reputable too. And she kind of says, "You guys came all the way here to ask you about a forgery device. Are you up to something interesting?"
Oh, no, no, no. This is personal. This is some like personal business. It's not like, yeah, it's just something I gotta handle on my own.
I think we can all respect that. Are you all accompanying us to take the cargo to the rock?
Yeah, I'll be like, I mean, I ain't gonna speak for every single person that's running around with me, but I'll tell you for sure I'll be here. I'm pretty sure they will be too.
I'm
So as will
interested.
I.
I think that everybody would probably agree that we were gonna do that, though, right?
It doesn't matter. I mean, you'll each get paid. Those of you that go will get paid. Those of you that do will not. Perhaps those that stay planet side can tend to your affairs while we're gone. I would begin to get ready now if you haven't already. It's 2 weeks to the rock and 2 weeks back should you ride back with us.
Oh damn, that's a pretty long time.
It's it's-
I do know. I think you sent me something.
it's- Goob does know a thing. But if you say that out loud, she'll laugh just a little bit. She says, "Yeah, unfortunately, the rock's the closest drop-off point we could get to Eberron. Uh, just thank God it wasn't all the way out to Vaunt or some shit." Yeah, you guys may not know that. Just does it all the way out there? It's
Yeah.
9 months to get there.
Yeah, I know, we can get to Eberron. I know a way. Basically, you could pay to get teleported. Mercane, is that? You can pay
I
the
think-
Mercane. Is that like a
yeah.
faction?
I think
Then-
I think I described them last week.
Okay.
So Mercane
makes
are
sense.
like they are essentially this very enigmatic intergalactic traders. They are giantoid. They're not like 14 or 15 feet tall. They're like closer to 8 to 10 feet tall. Blue with like these kind of long noses. They look almost very skinny, but they're extremely mysterious. No one really knows if there's one of them that somehow appears everywhere at any given time, or if there are many of them. But that seems to be they set up shops in random places, or sometimes you wander across them. Or as so Zephyr rolled a very good roll to explain to the group what these were.
Sounds
so-
kind of like what's his face from God of War. Shit, I forgot his name.
They are apparently a like long-standing Spelljammer thing. It's kind of neat. But you,
Oh,
I'll,
Makes me think. Makes me think of the Navigators Guild from Dune a little bit.
Navigator's Guild.
Sure.
I actually haven't read Dune.
you should read it. It's phenomenal. It's
Dude,
it's fucking great. But that sort of, but they are merchants. They're not, they don't fly ships or anything like that. But their primary thing seems to be trade. I think Goob, you with your background, you would know that they are the place to get almost anything. If they don't have it already in stock, they can get it for you.
So, do they typically deal legally with stuff? So, is this if I wanted to try to find the seal through them? Is that something we'd probably be amenable to, or would they not want to do that?
If you had not asked them in the past, I'm not sure that you would know. Or if you had not tried to do, I'm not sure that you would know.
Well, I mean, just in like general, like, would they deal in illegal goods?
Would they deal in illegal goods? Probably.
Probably.
I don't think they would share the same kind of morality that we do.
Okay.
Coin is their god.
Okay. Cool. As is mine, sort of.
Someone asked that like the first, second episode. What your god was.
I'm
I was
I'm
like,
kind of almost. I think Devin and I discussed this like agnostic almost. Like coin is kind of my god. Like money is my god.
same. Same, actually.
Man gets power from actual coin. For every gold he gets, his healing is boosted
He's
by a
gonna
fraction
be-
of HP.
I was about to say he's gonna have a chest plate, a breastplate, just a bunch of gold coins instead of chainmail, plated coins. How about it? Is there anything else you wanted to ask Thora? I know y'all think you came to ask about some stuff.
Not about that anyway. And I'm just remembering something. I could be misremembering. When we talked to Sly the first time, he mentioned something about passing information and breaking up monopolies, and I feel like he sort of like nodded at or looked over at Goob in a specific way, but I could be misremembering this.
He did.
Okay. Were you here
This-
for that?
He was not.
No, I don't think I was.
He had mentioned,
Okay.
and this is something I think the party knows that may not have been mentioned again, because you may not have been here, they may not have thought to say it. But House Cannith, those auto gnomes, part of the reason y'all went in there to look at them to see if they could be manufactured yet was because there were lots of rumors about House Cannith and the two houses that control travel in Eberron are in the works for they are making contracts that would kind of exclusively provide these autonome crews to these other two houses. And Sly did make a comment about how that could create a monopoly in many industries.
Okay. Yeah, that would have definitely kind of piqued Goob's interest a little bit.
I'll bring that up later. I was just mulling over the next bit of conversation I was going to have outside of this, and I was like, oh wait, I remembered something I wanted to talk about later.
That's very good. He was not here. But it's funny you remembered. It's fun to tease you guys about stuff that y'all can't have, that can't be followed up on right then. Sorry, I'm a shithead.
The reason I remembered is because I was about to have a quick conversation with Thor about Sly. I know we talked about him a little bit, but essentially I want to try to sit down with her somewhere, like off this side a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Just have a quick conversation.
There's plenty of room for you guys to speak in private.
Yeah, I'll get in on that.
Cool. So I'm gonna lean over and I'm like, hey Thor, listen, I'm not planning on giving any information over about anything we're doing here, the shipment or anything like that. That being said, these guys also know quite a bit. I can't guarantee that nothing's gonna get moved across. I'm trying to think about some contingencies and things like that. I might even be able to misdirect a little bit if you won't. But I wanted to give you a heads up. I plan on being on the ship to protect the shipment, but I can't guarantee that other parties aren't going to know that something's moving.
I understand you do not control the people you're with. You're all individuals. I hope they think better of crossing a house like that. But there's not a terrible amount of complaining I can do if you are there and you protect us from their consequences, or you all protect yourselves from your consequences. There's not much I can say besides booting you off my ship in the middle of wild space. You hear Marcus in the back. Technically my ship.
Yeah, so I'll look at it and I'll say, I just wanted to make it crystal clear. You know where my allegiances are. I don't want no part of it, so whatever happens to the rest of them happens, I guess. But I'll go ahead and tell you, I think they're pretty good folk. I just wanted to make sure you were in the know about what's going on before we went and had any other conversations, because they're going to have to stop by before we leave for the shipment. So I felt like I owed you to know that, or to let you know that regardless, something might be going down.
I appreciate your candor, boys. I understand. It is that way when wild spacers get together. She she doesn't hug anybody. I like to think she like grasps y'all's forearms, almost like guys shaking hands, like one after the other. I understand you cannot control the people around you, and I appreciate that you are willing to help us get this cargo moved. The buyer is offering a large, or rather nominal sum.
Yep. Just hoping we can get a little bit of that cut and continue to bolster our profits together.
Indeed. What's up, Nicola?
Hey, sorry for being late, dudes.
Hey, Joey.
Oh, it's all good.
Sure.
Glad to see you.
I was about to say, between your chin and my chin, our stream looks entirely different than the last one,
It's true.
You had a healthy layup before, and I didn't have much of one, but now it's all gone. I miss it.
It'll go back. It'll be okay. I do feel bad for you. I would have cried. Anyway, they are talking to Thora.
To the Tarkanians, yeah.
You all went back to Tarkanan just to ask about something that Goob wanted to ask about, and for the Buggo boys to speak with Thora. Y'all also went to talk to Vera for a minute. got 200 gold pieces each, so please put that in your thing if you have it. I'm going to add that to the thing real quick.
Yes, Daddy. Thank you.
And discussed the terms of becoming A1's bodyguards, which you guys decided to get back to her because there were only 3 out of 6 people, and they didn't want to make a decision without another person, which I understood. And now you're talking to Thora. Is there anything you would like to ask anyone at Tarkanen?
So I just caught the tail end of what you guys
I was
were
about to say,
talking about.
if anybody else has anything, they can go while he acclimates.
Well, I just want to make sure I got the gist of it. So basically, you told them like, "Hey, Randy is not going to tell them, but other people may be aware of what's going on and where this is headed," which I feel covers our ass. She gave us that vague, well, if y'all were shipment in yourselves, ... But are you do that with the intent to try to sell that info to Sly, or?
It was more probing, right? Like, we talked about this a little bit, but she was very explicit. Like, don't talk about anything you saw here. Don't talk about anything that's going on with us. But it also sounded like in our conversations that we wanted to pass along as much information, albeit vague, as possible over. Randy is not going to pass along anything, but I'm also covering our tails and letting her know that I can't control, every person who might be affiliated with me. And so if the information gets passed to him, it does, but Randy won't be the one disclosing it. And I wanted to make that clear.
I feel like that's a very good way to cover your asses and play both sides. Hey, fun. I don't believe I have anything else for Tarkanen. Anyone else would like to ask anything? I'll percolate on that for a second, but
I think that covers it, really.
I was supposed to say speak now or forever hold your peace, friends. Otherwise, by the time you
I'm gonna slink off to an undisclosed location and stash that saber that I acquired.
Okay. Good for you. But I appreciate
give me
that.
2 seconds.
So, I imagine by the time you guys make it back to the Weeping Willow, the inn you guys have been staying in, I really need to make a map. But
Is it
go ahead.
Is it fairly late in the day, or is there still a little bit of
At this point,
time?
it is like you guys need to go to bed. By the time you've come all the way back. From
How
where
many
they
days
were.
do we have until liftoff?
1. Well, 2 right now. You go to sleep.
After
And
So
that.
not tomorrow, but the next day.
Yes.
Okay, I have a few things I need to do tomorrow, but I can.
You can
I
go
can
to the
do that.
theater. You
Yeah.
are going to go to the theater twice, apparently.
Well, as long as
We're
it's nothing
going
too
twice?
crazy.
It's pretty tame. I want to talk to I want to take her to the theater. Yeah, I'm gonna get a little bit of ink from her, and then I'm also gonna try to talk to Professor Calden while I'm over there. Don't shrug your eyebrows at me, you bastard.
I regret nothing. Okay, I hear you.
Yeah.
So you guys go and get what I believe is actually your 3rd rest. So y'all get to hit the long rest button because this is your 3rd short rest.
Well, not if I do.
Yeah, y'all hit that button real good. I am gonna find one thing. I'm gonna change the date before my ass forgets. I will.
Got that 1 HP back. I'm pretty happy about it.
Yeah. I was
yeah.
like, I had 2020. I hope I didn't take one, and I was like, oh no, we didn't take any in that fight.
Nope. He's the only one did. Thanks to Drix's awesomeness.
True facts. True facts.
You.
Okay, well,
Buggy boy synergy.
it's neat. So you guys get up the next day.
Man.
Say it again.
The equivalent of 2.5 men on the Thrycrane homeworld is 2 bugs and a fungus. So that's
2
my
bucks and a fungus.
that's my personal head.
It's gonna be y'all's. When we go back to y'all's home planet, it's gonna be the name of the episode. 2 bugs and a fungus. So you guys do get up the next day. Rise and shine the next day, and y'all stay at the Weeping Willow again. Come back down the next day with the morning as yours. You're all welcome to do anything y'all want to do before you go talk to Sly. Joey, you said you wanted to go get paper, talk to Kaladin, get paper,
I
and
do want to talk to Calden before we talk to Sly, because Calden can give me an idea if this is something that'll jeopardize the college or just jeopardize Bree as an individual.
okay.
Fair.
Would you like to speak with him before? Who do you speak with first, Sybil or Calden? I'm gonna get a picture where y'all can see.
Besides Sybil, Deimos will make his way to the library at Mulgrave, one of the many libraries, I imagine, and find his way to the desk that Sybil typically is posted. He knows her hours fairly well, so he should be able to find her rather quickly. Uh, don't you? All the eyebrows are
It'll
cute
never
today.
stop. That's my whole
Um,
DM face is eyebrows.
As he meanders up, well, I hope you're free this evening because looks like after tonight I'm going to be far from home. I'd love to catch that performance with you before we go.
Oh, Demos. She no, that sounds lovely. You referring to the tickets you brought me the other day?
Oh yes, of course. I told you I was going to do my best to. That I was going to be on an extended absence, but that I was going to do my best to make that arrangement.
Thora did tell you guys just a minute ago while y'all were there that it will be 2 weeks there and 2 weeks back. But
I'll be gone for about a month.
well,
So
Goob also told you guys he knows a way to get teleported back.
interesting.
It's interesting.
At level 3, very interesting. I know it's probably not him directly, but that's
Yeah, he knows. He knows.
Pretty
I think he said earlier you can get paid to be teleported back.
Yeah,
Oh.
it's a transactional thing.
that makes sense. You know, capitalism. Do we like a price per head or something on that?
I don't
Goop.
know.
You know that it is 10 gold per person.
Oh, only 10 gold per person?
From an adventurer standpoint, yes, only 10 gold per person. Most people, even merchants,
Why are we even flying to the crater? They should be teleporting it.
well, that's the thing. Like you have to fly on these. That's why you have to go on the ship there to guard the stuff, because they cannot.
Oh, they can't teleport the stuff
No.
along. They can only
Yes.
teleport like
That
people.
was-
I got
yes.
you. That makes sense.
That's kind of
Biological.
the underlying subtense of the whole thing was that like you know we need people on this boat because it's the only way we can get it there.
I gotcha. Okay. Oh, very cool. Well, while I'm speaking with Miss Sybil, I would like to buy a few things. Since we just got paid a little bit, I will get. I think I'm gonna get. Let me look at how much I have now. I have 60 right now. I need at least 75, but I think I'm gonna get a bit extra. I would like to get 90 gold. Actually, yeah, 90 gold worth of Delaman ink. And I'll deduct that and add it to my thingamajig.
Okay. You obtain your wizard shit, as a wise man once said.
Wizard shit, indeed. And take that gold in my inventory. And then I guess all my business is with Professor Calden. I'll bid Sybil adieu. I'll give her a slight. I'll kiss her hand respectfully, and as I walk away, I'll message her like, "Quit staring at my ass," and make my
Never.
way out of the library.
Never.
Excuse me. Quit staring at my ass. You can reply to this message.
So you guys, you go seek out Professor Collin. I imagine he has a similar space that you guys, the map you guys saw a little
Yeah.
while ago.
He was the next door neighbor to what's her face, Bree.
Perfect. I'm glad. I wasn't sure I said that. Well, where'd it go? So I'll go ahead and take you guys back there in case some of y'all didn't get to see it. Ah,
Oh yeah, he had the dragon doormat. Right?
like you
I
did
got
that
him
with
that for a staff gift one year. That's not true, but it is now. Improv.
Say that again.
Said I got that for him for as a staff gift one year, and said that's not true, but it is now because improv.
Cannon. Now that y'all are back eating more great. You do,
It's fun. I like to think that as we're coming up here, Echo is just like, you mean you literally could have just walked us in here? We didn't have to do all the fucking sneaky shit. I'm like, well, I didn't know where you're going. I was just trying to keep Bree busy.
you couldn't necessarily walk them into her office.
No, but I could get to the hallway, which would have been a little easier.
Randy's like, didn't you have so much more fun doing it that way?
No, I enjoyed hearing about it. It was quite an interesting tale. Whoa, Professor Calden, you've been hitting the gym. You swole.
Yeah, he's swole.
All right, there we go.
Big dude. Oh. So you guys do make your way to Professor Calden's office. Of course, I will do some blur in here. Blue. Oh, that was the blur. Good job, David. flop.
I will ask you guys, do y'all want to tag along, or do y'all want to?
I was gonna ask how much time do we have in the day? Because I was curious if it might make sense for me to split off with Goob to go dig into this Bar Shazan guy if we have time, like simultaneously. I don't know. It's whatever you want to do.
It's a good thing. No, y'all are definitely welcome to split up. So you guys know that you have to, you just have to get everything done in time to go speak with Sly. I guess you could go speak with him very early in the morning tomorrow morning.
Something tells me he's not a morning person, but
If we're concerned with the timing of things, I think I would rather try to get a jump on that lead that we got with Goop if we can while you're doing this, and then save us a little bit of time so we can get with Slob before the end of the day. I would prefer that, because we also have to think about if we try to commit to the autonomous contract or not, and that's going to be an additional travel time and more time standing. So
Thankfully, between the warehouses and Moorgrave is a fair distance. But okay.
if we do it separately, it shouldn't be too bad.
Indeed.
We could break off into 3 groups and do Bar Shazam with 2 people. I could go here with somebody, and then somebody could do the house. What's Vera? Kenneth.
I think we would all have to be present though, right, to sign that contract, I assume.
Unless you,
that's a good
unless
point.
you can sign as a legally binding group.
So be an LLC. Let's form an LLC real quick.
Yeah.
That is an option.
DBA.
Yeah. DBA.
Zephyr represents me and my entire party. Good luck.
Oh, good. Speaking of Zephyr, is Barbara with us?
No. She's at a convention right now.
How dare.
Right?
Okay. I'll cut her some slack.
Yeah, I'm just running both. I'm running both tonight, so.
I got you. Oh, been playing 3 PCs. Tricks Quarter and
You.
I would say that Goob and Echo probably both have heard or know that you could sign as a group, and like that would the especially a magical contract like that would apply to you all equally. Not necessarily that you have to have paperwork claiming you are this. That seems to be more binding in some ways, but you guys know you can impromptu sign it as a for lack of a better term, doing business as, or et cetera, et cetera.
And Deimos, to catch you up, I asked a couple of questions while we were there because I was curious about the terms of the contract, what has to be break it, et cetera, et cetera. Long story short, if contract gets broken, there will be some level of psychic damage that is incurred, and then your location will be available or visible to them for a week afterwards. That said, I did also ask if it was like the whole party suffers or the person who broke the contract suffers, and it is the person who breaks the contract, not the entire party. So that is good to know. That made me feel better about, as a group, agreeing
somebody
to the terms.
let something slip by accident, yeah. Oh, yeah,
that's exactly why I asked. I was like, what if we accidentally, break the terms of the contract not realizing? And she was like, well,
we get a TPK yeah, that's how we get a TPK because somebody accidentally let one word drop.
Right.
Okay. No, yeah, I'm about it.
Cool.
That's fine. Okay, you wanted to talk to Professor Kaladin. We'll keep going there, and then we'll bounce to the investigation. Excuse me.
Well, I will politely knock on his door, not standing on the map because it's clearly a trap. I'm kidding.
The
But
mimic.
That's a terrifying mimic.
He does.
He, catches your feet. You can't run away.
It's Cat. He does beckon you in. Or call you in. You're allowed to enter.
Okay.
He says, greets you warmly. He says, well, it's very good to see you. I'm assuming that Sybil has already told you about the expedition slated to return.
Yes, Professor Calden. She did inform me that it is due back on a date which I have written in my notebook.
The 1st of Ra.
The 1st of Ra. I was hoping to bend your ear for a moment if you have a second.
Always.
I'm heading out for about a month. I apologize for the short notice, but maybe might be able to cut it a little short depending on how smooth the things go, but taking on a little side work, teacher salary and all that. I was hoping your neighbor, Miss Silverport, are you fairly familiar with her?
We've spoken a few times, but our work does not usually intersect. She's very good at getting resources needed for any part of the college.
She is quite good at it, and I believe I have a little bit of an insight as to why. Uh, Now, there are parties who are interested in this information, but I wanted to run this by you to see if it would impact your work. Her department's outside research, if I recall, I'm not overly concerned with. However, I do not want this to interrupt your flow of supplies. She gets quite a bit of the. Do you? And I would probably know this, so let me ask a meta question first. I know we use dragon shards in our research. Do we use the dragon dust as well?
Likely, yes.
Okay. It seems Miss Silverport has been acquiring quite a bit of her dragon dust from. That sounds like a drug. Wow.
It does. That's why I've been calling it dust. Still sounds like a drug, but
It does, yeah. She's been acquiring quite a bit of her dragon dust. The dragon D's nuts. Sorry, Brandon's not here. I had that. Through some less than savory means, sort of going outside of the college's influence to acquire a large sum of it, and I'm not sure all of it is making its way here. As I understand it, she gets about 100 pounds a week. Does that sound reasonable for what she presents to the college?
I imagine it is not of great concern to the college, assuming they are still getting the amounts they request. What she does with the amount she keeps for herself, she does have a rather large project that she is working on that some of the upper level members of the board know about, but it's not common knowledge amongst the college. It apparently is sufficient for some of the upper levels to know that she is doing a large project around the blood of Sybaris.
And I know the ring of Sybaris is obviously the ring.
The blood.
The blood is like the ore from within it?
The blood is, for lack of a better term, the same color. It's like a bright yellow electromagnetic storm that encapsulates, as far as you people are aware, all of you are aware.
The dome.
Yes, encapsulates. You guys wouldn't really be sure what. You guys all know.
I mean,
You all would have been
cyberspace, yeah.
alive. You all would have been alive when the morning happened. So you all would have been alive when, around a very similar time, I should say, sorry, not when the morning happened, but in a very close time frame, there was a rumor going around that you could not pass through this storm, and no one had found an end to it. As this present time, you guys are not aware. There has been no news of a path through the storm or out of the storm or anything like that. And that goes in every direction. Like, people have left from both sides of Eberron, from many planets, in an attempt to find a place where this is not. After you get so far from the sun, it seems to be everywhere.
Interesting. And you say she's harvesting it?
Doing a project around it. Did not say that's as much as he knows.
Project
The project
around
is
it.
related
Interesting.
to the blood of Sybaris. That's all he has heard through hearsay. Or well, that's the excuse given when people are pressed about what the board members that are in on this know. That is the reason given. It is suffice to know that she's an important project.
So this project would be very beneficial to the college, I imagine, should it be successful.
Hard to tell without knowing what that is.
She, I'm trying to decide how much to spill and how much to hold on to.
I'm not there, but I also sort of vote that you should maybe go talk to her. Like, I don't know if being super direct is the right choice, but I'm gonna go ahead and say that, like, if she's working on something that both benefits the college and allows us to leave the system if it's successful, might
That's
be
what I'm
important
thinking,
to
yeah.
allow it to happen. And
Yeah.
so letting her know you know and finding out for sure what's going on might be helpful.
Right. No, I tend to agree. Well, I appreciate your time, Professor Calden. I do hope that there is. I hope that this is good for Moorgrave and our research as well as Miss Silverport's. Um, I'll do my best to not stir up too much trouble.
I would appreciate that, but you are welcome to do as you do. You are your own staff member here at Moorgrave now. Please let me know if you
Well,
find anything. You said you would be gone. Are you going out into wild space?
we are, in fact, a little extra hired handwork. They need some little extra muscle, so we're providing it where we can. And I'm
He does essentially impress upon you to bring back anything interesting you find, as an academic would. Like,
of course. And the trouble is, the most interesting things I've found so far have been people. A plasmoid, a couple of thrycrenes, an unusual fungus. There's an elf that seems to be of foreign origin, and I haven't actually seen Echo demonstrate his Echo, so I can't really reference that. But a rather eclectic group of individuals that all were victorious in various events at the festival of something that I've already
Champions.
forgotten. Festival of Champions. Well,
For the champions of the galaxy.
Champions of the Galaxy. No, I was let's just say I'm in good company, and if I do find anything interesting, most pressing of all, dragon shards, I'll be sure to bring them by.
eclectic groups often have great success in our world.
And
Best
hopefully
of
they
luck
will off-world too. You enjoy your month, Professor Carlin. I'll hopefully be back in a couple of weeks, but if not, whatever 1 month date from now is. Blah, blah, blah.
20th of next month, or 19th of next month. He bids you farewell. If there's anything else you'd like to talk to him about.
Yeah, I walk out of the office. I take about 5 steps. I knock on Bree's office.
Okay. Odd or even?
Odd or even? Odd. An oddball.
Same. It was odd. After a few moments, she does answer the door and open the door. She says, "Oh," and she sees you. And she doesn't look displeased to see you, but you would see her immediately, like looking for
Gun.
Zephyr.
Oh, that's my boy.
Seeing it's just you, she says, "She says, what's a pleasure to see you again, Demos."
As well as you, Professor Silverport. I was wondering if you I have a moment to speak with you. May I come in?
I'm trying to decide if she can let you in or not after y'all.
I believe
so
the
rude,
sensitive
y'all.
nature of the subject would benefit.
What if Zephyr goes with them?
Yeah, I was gonna say, hold on, we talked about splitting up
If we
things.
are in
Zephyr might be
groups-
just chilling beside the door. I don't know.
I'm totally fine to use Pretty Boy's leverage. I mean,
All right, I'm going with you.
And done.
Zephyr has pretty privilege, you know.
I feel like that is most charisma-based characters. That's like a third of the character is pretty privilege. Okay.
I don't know.
I will allow it because you guys did mention splitting up and it made sense. So you, when you guys answered the door, you are immediately let in because she's somewhat under the impression this is the office visit that she was promised.
Oh yes,
Oh,
it
that's
is.
right. Well, kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Yes, you were quite interested in I don't know Zephyr's last name. You were quite interested in Zephyr last time we were by
Nocturne.
Nocturnus.
Yes.
That's pretty badass. Mr. Nocturnus here wanted to repay the favor of your courtesy last we met.
He kind of gives like a courtly bow, you know.
With as much sarcasm and sighing as could possibly.
I like to think like he kind of like glares at me when we're talking about the scheme before, and kind of like just rolls his eyes like, all right.
Biggest eye roll.
No, it is great to see you both again. Actually, this is somewhat unexpected. She goes over to there is a wine rack in her office and plucks a bottle of wine and pours you each a glass. She pours her glass into a glass that was already sitting there. You know how it would be. And so she says, yes, there are quite a few questions I could ask your friend. But,
He's not very talkative today, but you're welcome to ask.
yeah. She says, I'm assuming you're here. Is there an interest? Do you have an interest in what he has to say as well? She's somewhat questioning,
My presence?
Yeah.
Well, I do have some unrelated questions for you, if you wouldn't mind. You see, my associates, Zephyr and I, have been looking into quite a few unusual things, particularly involving House Kenneth, and I believe that word may be getting out of, how should I put this lightly, your sources for Dragon Dust. Now, I understand that you pool into the university benefits us all, and while I am willing to believe that you have the best of interests at heart, from what I have heard, you're pulling quite an impressive amount of this dust. Now, should these parties find out, they would likely seek to interrupt your flow, and I would like to help you protect it. But in doing so, I'm going to need you to be a little more upfront about that large project you're working on.
So she's putting together. She knows that Kaladin knew about the project, so she's not surprised you said that. Are you threatening me, Mr. Demos?
No, nothing at all. There are people who are seeking to pay for this information, and if it is the good of Morgrave, and for the progress of all here within Sean, then I'm more than happy to allow it to continue and help prevent any leaks of information. But
So
if there
not
is,
threatening me, just blackmailing me.
No, of
Well
course
played.
not. I just want to make sure that you're on the up and up, Bree. I make it a point to use her first name and not Professor Silver, like I've called her every time.
She says, if the college thought that my project was... I need an impressive amount of the substance for an impressive project. If the college believed that my project was of any... If the board believed that my project was of any harm to Moorgrave or the surrounding area, I doubt I would be allowed to continue. I am heavily curious how much you know of what you claim to know, or if you're just spouting dragon shit to attempt to bend me to give away more than you should know.
First of all, dragon shit is a racial slur, and I do not appreciate that.
I'd say Zephyr kind of piped up and he's just all like, hey, we're on the same side here. That eyelashes.
Well,
I think Zephyr should give Bree a back massage.
Yeah.
We're throwing Zephyr out. It's not.
I wouldn't say her look softens. She does look at Zephyr appraisingly, maybe, like trying to gauge what Zephyr's stake is in this, and and trying to gauge how much Zephyr perhaps trusts Demos. You're asking about the project. Interesting.
I just want to be
Where have you
let in the
heard?
loop enough to where
where-
I feel comfortable allowing us to continue.
What do you believe my sources to be?
Well, I'm quite sure I know your source to be House Kenneth, and that your shipments are weekly of 100 pounds of dragon dust, and you're giving quite a large percentage of that, as I understand it, to the university for various projects across the staff, and of course keeping a portion for a particular project. Been quite. Last we met, you told us to go speak with Vera DeCaneth, and we've become quite good friends. She's actually even requested us keep an eye on a few special projects of her own.
Is that so?
Quite.
Well, what do you make of this? If you will allow me some time to contact Vera and confirm your story, if she vouches for you, I would be happy to consider a deeper relationship. She kind of bats her eyes.
Looks at Zephyr, I'm
Zephyr,
sure.
yeah.
Well, I'm sure a skilled staff member such as yourself certainly has access to instantaneous communication. Let's settle this now.
You wouldn't think I'm lying to you, would you?
Deception check.
A little bit. No, she just does this. A little bit. Pretty faces can lie too. I agree with you. Actually, I think she would be able to do that. Can they respond to something? I guess you can. Yeah, message.
For sending, you
This-
can. Yeah.
this is
I don't know
sending,
what the
not-
word count is.
What's
Yeah.
it? Sending,
message
not
is only
message.
120 feet. Sending is the
Sending's the
long
big
distance.
one, but no, I agree.
Yeah, I think
actually,
it's
with
50 words.
so she oh man, I think it's only
It's still
25.
25. Yeah.
I don't think I'll go over 25. But yeah, I don't know. It's hard to count. Screw that. I was about to say you don't have to. I think I'll paraphrase it instead because I'm just not good at that kind of thing. Bree, mentions that Demos and Zephyr are here, and you essentially ask if they're trustworthy, and if she would vouch for them, and if she condenses down to kind of what. If you guys are trustworthy to share information with about the thing. And after a couple of minutes, you can see her kind of, not a couple of minutes, but she nods when the response comes through. And she says, Vera says you have been helpful to her, which is very good to hear. But that there is not any real stacks of chips on the table at this time. I am working on a large project. You all could be a part of it if you guys choose. If you all chose to pursue a deeper relationship with us, us being her and Vera, there could be reoccurring employment for you all. As I believe Vera mentioned yesterday, she did make a small mention yesterday to the group that if you guys chose to be A1's bodyguards, that could open the door to her and Bree employing you guys in a kind of expeditionary role. So Bree reiterates that, and she's not going to tell you too much else. She says, I do not, in the interest of an open relationship, the 150.
That's Zephyr's favorite kind of relationship.
I was waiting for you to get it. The amounts that you quoted are mine, and mine in their entirety. I'm not attaining them by any illegal means, but they are funded entirely separate from Moregrave's accounts.
I understand. So you're getting £100 per week for your personal project, and another amount for the university.
Yes, the funds,
What
the
could
logistics, the labor is all entirely separated, with the small exception of some. You can imagine, anybody that's doing a project like that's going to use a small, you gather she's not using any more resources than another teacher or another student or.
More than
You're really choppy. I can't hear you.
the 100 gold or the 100 pounds of dust. Is it more than like other teachers are using?
You would know that 100 pounds of dust is that's several weeks to maybe a month or two supply for a classroom.
But she's getting it weekly, so she's getting a significantly higher percentile. Yeah.
Yeah, she's
And it's
apparently
separate from
she's
the
apparently going through a
Wargrave
lot
is
more of
getting.
it. Yes. Because Morgrave gets it from several sources. Morgrave probably even has some, may not can produce as much of it as a house like Cannith, but probably has their own mines, has their own factories, etc.
Well, now that you're understanding that we're rather trustworthy, and trust me, I do not intend to do anything against the better interests of this fine institution, or in the pursuit of knowledge in general. I would just love to get a even vague idea of what you're working on. I hear it has to do with the storm, and as I do this, I'm a bronze dragon, so lightning. I kind of like a little bit of sparks, kind of like click in the back of my throat. I'm like, I'm rather interested in this particular storm. Tell me, can you give me just an inkling of what your research has yielded or aims to accomplish?
Make a persuasion check.
Can I get advantage because Zephyr's pretty?
You guys have both been attempting to, I don't want to say grill her. It's not quite that bad. So, but yes.
How about Zephyr roll separate? Because I have a -1 to persuasion.
It's very good. Very smart.
Oof. Let's see what that is.
Ah,
7. Take that.
Results that has yielded so far.
Or
aim.
what it aims to accomplish, yes.
17. We are attempting to build a somewhat large device to attach to a Spelljammer. I can't tell you anything more concretely because at this time I cannot tell you exactly what it may do.
Interesting. So,
And I will
device that
withhold what we
attaches-
want it to do.
Well, you've given me a bit of insight, and for that I'm thankful. In fact, Zephyr, as you wish. Zephyr, you may disrobe now. I say this mostly jokingly, but
She looks like, not exactly what she was expecting. Shocked
sips
face.
of wine.
Yeah. If there's anything else you
Double
guys would like to ask her, then your advice. Stop. There's too many. If there's not anything else you two would like to ask her, we can move on to our friends.
I will meta-wise ask the party, since Barbara, of course, is not here, if there's anything else that we think we could pry from Miss Silverport.
She's a lock box, man.
She is. She's very tight-lipped. And understood. I mean, if what she's working on is what we're talking about, getting beyond the sphere, I mean, that's pretty big work.
Yeah, that's why I'm glad you went and talked to her, because I was very much like, if there's anybody that I'm down with giving info over to Sly about, it's probably her, because whatever.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, if it's going to disrupt what she's doing, that seems kind of important.
I'll
Yeah,
say.
it's
Before we depart, I'll just, after she has her way with Zephyr, or whatever her way may be, just keep in mind, we are on the same side, and I'll try to crudely bat my eyelashes like Zephyr did earlier, and just
I
not
think because you're
nearly
made
as
of
effective.
scales, there's some clicking, like it makes a clicking sound.
Click, click, click.
She gives you I believe it's pronounced. Okay, I don't know. There's a word for it. WAN. There's a word for she's doing her best to smile, even if it looks a little stressed.
Oh, okay. No,
As you guys see yourselves out. That was a very interesting conversation. Okay, I believe during this time you guys had split up. Randy and what time is it? It's almost break time, or it is break time. I apologize. So when we get back, I think Randy and Goob, you guys want to dig up. Refresh me real fast. A contact? What are you trying to find? Not exactly.
Bar Shazan.
Yes. Oh yes, because he was the last one that got sold.
But-
Perfect. Okay.
I was about to say, can I get some context on that? I thought it was an actual bar until somebody mentioned it was a person.
They're looking for a person that sold a specific thing to House Tarkin in the past.
I see. Okay.
For sure. Okay.
Cool.
So
When are we coming back?
we're gonna come back in 10 minutes. So 11:49,
11:49. 7.
10:49. We're gonna play till
He's not
3:30
gonna-
tonight. Sorry, y'all.
He's not gonna make it.
He's not. All right, guys. Catch you all in a minute.
Interested in going to try to find that name that I was just reading.
That
Bar Shazam.
Bar Shazam. I was just reading before I got distracted by Discord. Okay.
Yeah, I'm fine going in, or at least starting something. What time are we running to tonight?
12. Because I'm an old man.
12. Okay.
11 our time.
Yeah.
If we step in every minute after that, you will be able to watch me visibly deflate.
No. It's cool. Like that's like I had to drink caffeine really late in the day to make sure I could stay up.
I feel you. I'm usually in bed by about 10. So I'll be slowing down the further we go, unfortunately. Anyway, and I would say, now that you have a name, Randy, is it Randy and Goob going to go do this? Did I understand that correctly?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go for sure.
This session's brought to you by this name I can't say. It's a Negroni, but it's got whiskey in it and bourbon in it instead of gin. It's Boulevardier. I don't know. I can't pronounce it. Anyway, you guys go.
Belvedere.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
I don't know. It's weird. Something French. It's delicious. With a name, you are able to go back to your contacts. What is wrong with you? Quit your shit. You're able to go back to your smuggling contacts since they are particularly around that kind of thing, and with a name, have much more success in an attempt to track him down. I would like either one of you or perhaps both of you to make a roll. I wanted to make this sort of like a skill challenge. Like you are, if you can explain why you want to use the roll, you are welcome to suggest a roll. This is just to see how long it takes you to find this person.
Okay. I have a proficiency in investigation.
That's perfect because that's the raw.
Beautiful.
Yes, that is the raw choice. It's what I would have asked for.
Yeah, working with Randy, could I get advantage maybe?
Yes.
I don't know how to do that, so I'm gonna roll 2.
Herb.
Yeah. That's...
Okay.
16. Oh man, well that's bummer.
16's not bad. So I would say you guys spend probably close to the same amount of time. Let me back up. I'd say it doesn't take you guys too long. Maybe about an hour. Maybe a little more. Not a whole lot more. To eventually make your way into one of the lower levels of Charm. And eventually, I won't want to say stumble upon, since you are looking for him, but you do kind of happen your way into what appears to be some kind of black market. And when I say lower level, I mean like you guys are bordering on the cogs. So there's lower Shard, the cogs, which is like where all the foundries and stuff is made, where there's a bunch of it's a big foundry district essentially. And you guys are almost down to that level, but still essentially in the lower Shard.
Gotcha.
Where you do find essentially we would consider today a black market, a somewhat small one, not a bazaar or anything like that. And you are able to eventually locate a somewhat scruffy-looking bugbear who you are pointed to, somewhat scruffy-looking bugbear who seems to be peddling some wares off of a cloth and sitting under a very misshapen tent.
Okay. I'm going to lean over to Randy and say like, "Hey, I might be a merchant, but I think that I need to rely on you a little bit more here. Considering we're looking for illegal shit."
I look over and I nod and I say, "Fair enough, partner." And I do not hesitate to immediately walk directly in his direction. And I look over and I say, "Howdy, partner. Kind of point in your direction. You wouldn't happen to know a Bar Shazam, would you?"
Upon your confident stroll over there, he does kind of cross his arms, and when you ask your question, you can see him not relax, but he takes his hand off of whatever was under his armpit. And he says, that would be me.
Cool.
Why do you ask?
Well, we're looking for a kind of particular item, and I believe you are familiar with my mutual friend Thora, who let me know that you might be able to get said item for us, since you may have gotten it for her in the past.
You're a Tarkanin.
Some might say that, yeah.
Okay. Sorry, he's rolling.
Haven't decided if that needed a deception check.
Well, no, he's rolling to see if he believes him. Anyway, he says, well, I guess that's close enough for me. What can I help you with? You're looking for something specific.
I'll step in.
Yeah.
And be like, look, this, and I explain to him what I'm looking for. I don't know if we ever discussed this, but so obviously I'm trying to find this for. This is meta knowledge, y'all.
I know what you try to find it for.
Okay.
Well, I guess the only thing that I should say, I don't know. I guess what I would like to communicate is this is not a necessary item for that person to be involved in things. Like for you to. Here, I did my best to take everybody's. If you gave me some stuff, it's going to come up at some point. But I love that you're trying to find this thing. It is very in character for Goob, and I'm all about it.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. So I just explain like, hey, I'm looking for this thing. I try to be as vague as possible, and maybe let. So I think we discussed like a sigil for the Dribblers Club.
Yes, I think I was talking about it. It was a way for them to identify each other, right?
Right. Yeah. So I'm gonna maybe let that sigil slip a little bit, okay, move my shirt in such a way to kind of expose that sigil.
Okay.
To see if he reacts to it.
Does Randy notice?
I was about to say, did you say dribblers?
Dribblers Club, yeah.
If you're trying to hide this from Randy, I guess make us. Well, I don't know if
I'm
you
not
have to make
trying
a
to
stealth
hide it.
check.
I'm trying to
What's your
make it not
passive
seem
perception,
super
Randy?
obvious. I'm not trying to wave it around or anything.
Okay.
Is this like a tattoo, or is this like what are you showing him exactly? This I do a sigil, but what's it on?
Well,
Just
actually,
floating
we
within
didn't really
you?
discuss that. I
That-
mean, is it cool
that's
if it's
up
on
to
like a medallion?
Yeah, no, anything that doesn't touch mechanics is almost entirely up to you, and I will let you know
Okay.
if I think it's crass or inappropriate or whatever.
Okay, cool. Yeah, it's a medallion. And little bit of backstory. Goob is proud of this sigil because he's helped design it.
Okay, interesting.
I have so many questions that Deimos knows nothing about.
Randy's looking at it and he's like, is that like where your reproductive bits are? What are you showing him? But he doesn't say it out loud. He's thinking it.
Jesus
Dribblers?
Christ.
Oh, yeah, so you get older, you dribble a little bit, you know.
The
Maybe
bugbear
maybe you drop,
does
maybe you ooze.
kind of tilts his head. He says, I've heard there's a fair share of them symbols on the rock. I've heard you're good business partners.
Yeah. I mean, we try to make as everybody's happy as possible.
I have
we scratch your back, you scratch ours, that kind of thing.
I have fenced items like this before, similar to what you speak of. He may not know if you're being super vague. He may be thinking of a couple of different items. He says, unfortunately,
I'm just trying to oh, go ahead. Sorry.
most of them seem to be. I've fenced most of them to the task. They seem to enjoy not a greater control, not a monopoly over these items, but they definitely control a larger number of them than I am aware of. I could open negotiations with them. If you would like to go the old-fashioned way of just, I'm trying to find a bugbear voice. It's not working out. The old-fashioned way of just straight out buying one of these things. But of course, he can see most characters in most of my games recognize adventurers. You all are usually dressed eclectically: swords, weapons, backpacks, things of that nature. He says, of course, I know that people like you generally have their own ways of obtaining things if they wished.
Well, I'm willing to honestly obtain this item any way that I can, and I'm not trying to be like vague like as to what item I want to obtain.
Mhm.
I'm trying to just kind of not give any details away of like why I'm looking for it. I'm trying to make it seem like I'm trying to obtain this for personal reasons.
Oh, friend, I do. Don't worry, I don't worry about that one bit. That's how you get in trouble in this line of work. He says, if that's what you would like me to do, then I would be glad to. Oh God, now I'm the thing from Monsters Inc. The slug. I would be glad to open negotiations with the desk to see what price they would be willing to part with one for.
Okay, I don't. So out of character,
Mhm.
Josh mentioned he's not with he doesn't vibe with the desk, correct?
I will say that I'm not gonna like fight a Dask on site. What I'll say is that Randy does not agree with their surface level ideology all the time, as far as how they
Okay.
handle things. But that doesn't mean that like they know me and I know them, and we're gonna just like duke it out if we see each other like West Side Story
It's
style.
not the Capulets and the
Have
yeah.
would Good know any of this about Randy at this point? Like I don't
mean,
know if he's said anything in character to me.
I did mention it earlier. I didn't mention it to you expressly. What I'll say is that, because I feel like it's important for you to know, when he mentions, like, we already sort of know what we're coming to do, so, like, you probably noticed a little bit of tension, because I didn't know if we were going directly to, like, Dask HQ or what the deal was. When he mentions that we'll have to open a conversation or brokerage with the Dask, my face is not, like, particularly expressive, but you can sort of see my body language get slightly defensive, but not so much so that, like, you're heavily concerned.
On guard, but not like.
I'm alert, like I'm prepared.
Okay, so Devin, would you want me to make a perception check to see if I pick up on this like tension rising?
No,
Or
for the most part, for group mates, not really. You guys are free to. It's hard to communicate those things in character because we're not voice actors or professional actors. So out
I just
of
meant,
character
like,
talk like that is fine. Like
I didn't
Speak
wanna
for
get too
yourself.
meta.
One day.
Not me. No, you're fine. I would put
Okay.
my foot down. I felt like y'all were cheating in any way.
Okay, cool. So I look over to Randy and I just kind of like let him know like I'm thinking of like his feelings towards this group. And I say maybe give me a second, and I step back and I pull Randy aside and I ask him, hey, like, would it be cool if we try to like set up at some point this meeting, just to see if we can like work something out?
I will clarify really quick that he will fence the item for you. You do not have to talk to the desk.
Oh,
You
okay,
can
okay.
give him the money and he will return with the item. As that is kind of his shtick.
Okay.
I do appreciate the
Alright.
thought, though. Randy really appreciates the thought.
That's good looking out. No, true story.
Yeah,
Um,
he's an empathetic person.
I do have a question. You said that in order to obtain one through standard means, we would have to broker a deal with the DAS, or possibly. I don't want to step on your toes. Would it be okay if I interjected and asked?
Yeah, go ahead.
And what about you specifically mentioned if we wanted to go through traditional routes? What about untraditional routes? Is there a faster path?
You could just take one from them yourselves through violent or
That's interesting.
subterfuge means. You didn't hear that from me, obviously. But I'm just saying that the safe way to get one is to buy one from them. However else you obtain one is not up to me.
Yep. And would you happen to know approximately how much is your fee for acquiring such an item if you're going to be the mediator for us?
Oh boy. 1 second. I know I've got a real quick reference to how much rare items cost in here somewhere. Balls. It's going to be... I'm sorry. It's the one thing I just can't remember. It's the one thing I can't remember to put in my thing.
So
Okay.
according to
So it's going to be...
It's about 5,000.
Yeah, that's going to be
gold.
the average. So there's like dice rolls for all of these rarities, and 5,000 is probably the average, the middle. For this particular item, though, because rare is a scale, there are some things that would be worth a lot more than this thing.
Sure.
I would say that you're probably he says that obviously I have to know what they're looking to let go of it for, but I would guess it's in the range of 4,000 to 6,000 gold pieces, including my fee.
Goob tries to like hide his expression of like a little bit of like shock, like, okay, yeah, cool, yeah, I appreciate that, and
You can see he looks very excited. Like he's in a very lower level black market at the moment, and he looks a little hard up for the coin. So
Can I interject?
You have his
really
attention
quick?
for sure. Or I don't know if you're asking me. Sorry.
Yeah, I was actually asking about you. I'm gonna lean up against. I assume there's a crate there, and I'm gonna say, "Hey, now, I know that you have dealings with Tarkin, and I think it might be mutually beneficial if you take a long look at how much something like this might cost you to ensure a future relationship and trade there. Now, that's just me, but I think you should think real hard about it."
Rude. He says, "Be quite honest, I ain't never seen you before. I don't even know if you're really Tarkin. Get on out of here with that bullshit."
okay, but yeah,
Suit yourself.
I want to kind of persuade him. Actually, you know what? Yeah. I wanna let him know, like, hey, I'm willing to do this. And I know that it's gonna cost you a lot of probably gold, to like facilitate this deal. They're gonna demand some kind of recompense in some way. So what if I just pay you a portion of what you'd be paid and get information on where they might be storing this item? How much would that cost me?
Well, now you're asking me to, oh God, what's the word? You're asking me to sell information on the desk. Information's worth more than items much of the time.
Well, I try to like give him the runaround and use my business background to like. Honestly, I'm trying to deceive him into thinking that it's a way better deal to like sell me
sell you the information
instead of like trying to
get the item.
Yeah. And yeah, I want to stress, like, look, like, this is you're risking your neck to try to like do this for somebody that you obviously don't trust. Like, you don't trust that we're with Tarkin. Like, you don't know that. This might be more lucrative for you.
Okay. So he says there is something I can tell you now if you're willing to put down some gold for it.
Yeah, I asked him how much.
Devin has to decide what is a fair price for this.
Okay.
for what he knows specifically. Okay. For him, yeah. You have 50 gold.
Yeah, I can pay. I can drop 50 gold.
He looks extremely pleased at 50 gold. Like I said, the German Shepherd, man. Oh, I fixed the thing. Maybe y'all can't hear that. Butthole.
No, he's a good boy.
But,
it's okay.
He's a butthole. He tells you, he looks very pleased. He was in a very lower tier black market, it seemed, by how far y'all are down. So 50 gold, it seems to be a windfall for him. And he says, I know that the Dask run quite a few of the nightclubs in Lower Sharn and a solid handful in the middle. It's my understanding that many of these destinations have back offices, so to speak, where their books are kept and business is handled. It would be my assumption that many of these nightclubs have one such of these items for use in the office.
Okay. All right. I appreciate it. I hand over the gold.
Awesome. He accepts it gratefully. Immediately begins packing up his wares, which you can all see are. I like to think like bootleg wands. Like it might do one thing and then break, but it does this one thing that's real strong or something. But also has a chance of blowing up in your face. Like just all this stuff that like you could buy it and it could be really helpful, or you could buy it and it could break.
I'll take 7.
Cool. Okay.
Man, I want to do something, but I'm not sure if I should.
No, go for it, man. Like let's fuck this shit up. Like, who cares?
Okay.
Like,
I think at this point, Randy's gonna do this thing, and so I'm going to use my carapace to sort of like change my appearance just a little bit. Like my eyes, like the area around my eyes is gonna expand into like this deep red. Everything around it's gonna turn into like almost a black or navy, and I'm gonna lean into him as we're getting ready to walk off, and I'm gonna say, "Don't you ever undermine me again. I don't want to have to come back here and make you look stupid the same way you tried to make me look. And don't you ever doubt my affiliation."
Roll an intimidation check. Man, I
Advantage?
was about to
I'm
say I
scared
really
like
love
shit.
the color thing. I don't want to ask what your highest thing is, so you can use like a physical stat if you want. You can use your highest physical stat if you want. So like if you have acrobatics or athletics, you could use that instead.
I'll try acrobatics and see what happens. It's a 19.
Oh. Okay. He kind of gives you a little bit of a long look, and he looks you. He was after the carapace change. He kind of looks you up and down. He definitely looks afraid. Like he shoves the money into one of his bags and like breaks eye contact with you and does not look up from the ground. Like as he finishes up packing up and trying to get the fuck out of there.
Cool. I change back and I look at Goob and I say, "Sorry I made you see that, brother. Anyway, I think we got a pretty good lead, and if we need him to get us some info or an item, he might be a little more willing to cooperate going forward. That's just a hunch."
Goop laughs and pats him on the back and thanks him.
I love that. Wow. Okay. Y'all making me make notes about Bon Shazar. If you say.
Okay. So, I don't know, Devin. Like, what are the chances of us returning to Sharn? Like,
Y'all will
Do
be
we
in
have-
Sharn for the next 10 to 15 episodes at the minimum, or back and forth from Sharn, I should say. You will
okay.
yeah.
Okay, cool.
For
And that's where the clubs are that I'm looking for.
yes.
Are we going clubbing?
Yes, the
We are-
nightclubs,
we
yes.
Might be
I
going
hope so.
clubbing, yeah.
Yeah. Sounds like y'all are going to break into a mafia front, which I'm so excited for. This is the kind of thing that like I wanted to run Sandbox because that's a very common Eberron adventure, breaking into a Dask nightclub. But I didn't know if we were going to actually do that, and now we are. It's great. I love it. That's hilarious. I'm about it. Makes me happy.
I
Anyway,
think that's 2/3 of our.
I was about to say, what was the third thing that y'all wanted to go do? I think this would be Drix and Echo.
Confirm. It's
Auto.
Drix and
Oh.
Echo.
Auto
Going
known
to,
time.
If you guys would like, we can say that they They go ahead of you guys, and you guys all choose to convene there after your business is done.
Okay, that's okay.
Because otherwise, they would have to sign for you guys with some kind of overarching name, which may or may not be prepared for.
God, and if you left it up to Echo, he would definitely call us Dirty Randy and the boys, which I'm not.
Ben, is there anything you wanted to ask Vera or Oz or A1 before the rest of the group arrived? I should have called you Drix. I apologize.
Wait, are we all there or just those two?
We're gonna see if Drix has any questions before y'all arrive. If not, we'll skip forward to when y'all all get there. You're on mute, Ben. Sounds like he's doing something.
Maybe AFK.
Yeah. He's probably watching the kids and stuff by himself.
I would like to make one amendment to the contract.
Uh-oh. What's that?
That from this contract's acceptance forth, the party, in order to help maintain the anonymity of your creation, will refer to A1 simply as steak sauce at all times. I just want to be very clear on that.
What? I'm not gonna call him steak sauce. I don't
No, we
give a
need
shit
code
what
steak
y'all
sauce
call
so
him.
people don't understand what we're talking about. If our messages are intercepted, we need a code word. I need you to call him steak sauce as well.
She looks at
What's that?
Oz, kind of confused, and Oz, you Warforged, obviously no facial expressions, just kind of like.
Look at us. Open file nomenclature. Rename file A1 to steak sauce.
He looks very
No?
confused. Oh,
Make a technology
What?
check.
Tech check.
God.
God, tech check could be anything from fucking like intelligence to wisdom to goddamn acrobatics and athletics for how hard you throw your fucking computer against the wall. I mean, this is an important clause for you all. She looks around at the group, somewhat confused.
For me, at least. I don't know about that. I just...
What if I
If
agree
you
to
must-
call him A1, or I agree to call him steak sauce, and we don't put it in legal writing?
I will settle for that. Thank you. I thought about it afterward. Like, we're going to call him A1 instead of steak sauce at some point anyway, and that would technically void our contract. Like, we would take psychic damage every time we do that, so...
Now Devin's like, oh, I recant. I changed our mind. Let's do that.
So that sounds like a very extremely specific thing to put in a contract.
Just Damon's being goofy. Mostly trying to stall. Benjamin, are you back, by the way, bud? Yeah, I think he's AFK right now.
He was about it earlier, though, wasn't he?
He was
You two
very
over
much
here?
down.
That's what I thought. Okay. Is there anything else y'all would like to clarify with Vera? Are y'all going to sign
we
the
get-
contract?
Did we get any evidence, like, of the investigation? I don't know if y'all covered that earlier.
You did not leave anything, no. You have told her what you learned, which was
Nothing
you got a
physical, we told her
name.
we knew.
Yeah.
Did not leave with anything, you say?
Nope.
Hang on a second.
Didn't leave with any evidence.
No, I don't know this spell yet. Never mind. Okay.
Oh, I see.
I could have learned this spell, but I picked something else, and I'm regretting it now. But that's okay. Sorry.
But you
continue.
guys did tell her about Oswald. You guys found out from the person that you interrogated that my brain stopped. God damn it. Found out from the person you interrogated that one of the suspects, the primary suspects in the investigation, had turned up dead. A clergy member of the Church of the Silver Flame. Vera has told you guys that that's in one of the upper wards. You Sharn locals would know there's a religious district in the upper ward where most of the cathedrals, temples, things of that nature would be.
Yeah, I do have one more question. Is there like an end date to this contract? Like, does he have to be home after a certain time, a certain date? I need to make sure I fully understand
he
how
would-
long we have him.
He would stay with you in perpetuity until you were released from the contract or you willingly backed out by returning him.
Are we
Right,
still
so-
clubbing with the autonome? I'm just like, once we get this
and-
guy, he's here.
And I mostly wanted to verify that we could return him to like break the contract with no consequences
You could.
because crap hits the fan, something weird happens with Kenneth, or we decide we want to break ties with that. Then I want to make sure we're not like tied into them in perpetuity.
You could. No, it's just for as long as you are his
Oh.
guardians.
Sorry, you
question,
weren't here,
weird-
Deimos, but Goob did roll to see how well we could disguise him in public and rolled a 21, which was fairly good. We're confident that unless somebody's like really taking a good long hard look at him, that they won't recognize him as an auto gnome.
Okay, good, because that's what I was thinking. Like that puts a target on our back wherever we go. But, Now, okay, good. That's very good there.
Cool. I'm down, but I said earlier I just want the robot.
Same.
I mean, I'm definitely down. I think that
Makes
having
sense.
somebody like dedicated to controlling the ship when we could potentially need more of our main party doing other shit like defending or whatever.
Yeah. Now, meta-wise, well, I don't know. I guess I would before we got there. I imagine maybe we met up before we got with Drift and Echo.
Huh.
I hope you boys had a lucrative trip. I am a little curious. Well, A1, I know that you have ties to House Tarkanan, and I don't mean to assume a level of distrust, but do you think that A1 will be safe around the individuals we'll be traveling with?
I can tell you with fairly clear certainty that as long as A1's with me, nobody affiliated with Tarkin in any way, shape, or form is gonna bring any harm to the little fella.
That does much to reassure me. I appreciate that. By the way, I want to talk to you about a clause I'm going to make to the contract to amend it to make it steakhouse instead of A1. Fast forward back to where we were. Blah, blah, blah.
Okay. It sounds like you are all amendable. But then that is was about it earlier, so that's 4 out of 5 anyway. So I think we're gonna go ahead and say that you guys do sign your the first actually of the campaign, a magically binding contract. It's not written in blood, but the ink is. You guys notice when you dip in the ink well that it does glitter. I mentioned earlier that this is ink made with like crushed gemstones and things like that, which is how often is a very popular component in magical workings.
And tattoos.
And tattoos, indeed. So you guys, your names are very sparkly. Perhaps not black, perhaps maybe almost opalescent, a black opalescent, if that is such a thing. With all the gemstone dust kind of mixed into the ink. You each sign your names, and upon the signature for each of you, you guys watch as the words on the contract glow. And lift off the page and kind of coalesce into this lightly spinning orb of magical energy, which, and this happens each time one of you sign it, floats over to you guys and lands essentially at a place of your choosing, as this red ink of indecipherable script tattoo around wherever you would like it to be placed. You do get a little bit of a choice in where it goes. Vera actually does put her. You watch hers go kind of on her hip / from her hip to her thigh, sort of. So it disappears when it goes to her, but you guys see it kind of land in that area.
For the record, the reason that I asked how this was binding, whether it was binding by who signed it or by name, is because you would have learned it sooner or later, and I kind of hinted to it before, but if you inspect the parchment, you'll notice that Randy didn't sign Randy. He actually signed Buck Ramble, because he learned early on that an alias is important for people who steal and who are in criminal organizations, and that is his.
God damn it, I wish we would have all done that now.
It's funny because you were chattering, and now you're Randy, and now you're Buck Ramble. the alias evolving is like that's a good bit. It's gonna be a recurring thing throughout the campaign.
It is definitely going to be a recurring thing. As a note, when I was talking to Lauren about this campaign, I was like, I'm going to have to write down who I gave what name to where, because Buck Ramble might not be the last name you hear, but it's the one I'm using right now.
That's really funny.
I guess
Reminds me
they,
of fucking
I guess they may not
Scanlan and
know
all his
your
aliens.
name. They wouldn't know any better. Like they would.
I mean,
not,
I
that's
speak a little
exactly-
bit
that's what you-
Green, but
You remember the last when we were talking about the contract, I explicitly asked, like, is it tied to you by your name on the contract, or is it tied to you by you signing it? And I asked for that exact reason.
yeah. So it is tied by your signing it, but now they think your name is Buck. So.
Nice.
Vera and Oz both read over the signatures and are.
Can I roll to see if I see this?
I don't think it would be too hard to see. I think you would see it anyway. See his signature anyway.
Okay.
but boob.
No, I was gonna put. I want to. If you'll let me, Devin, put just like reverse my name, but Boog.
Boog. Booger, it works.
For sure. They I just realized I don't think any of you have been introduced. So they will read the names after you sign the contract. See who they.
I'll put Demos, but I'll swap the I and E. Much less discreet, but you know.
We'll see.
Diemos?
Demos. Demos. It's his Latin cousin.
I wonder if Drix signs as Drix or Cordo.
He would definitely sign as Gordo.
I feel like Drix would try to write Drix, and then like Cordo would override, like it's like Drordo or something on the contract.
No, that'll be interesting. When he get
Except
either
for
when he
just puts
gets
a frowny face.
either when he gets back or if it has to be next week, I'm going to ask him about that. Devin, make a note. Sticky note.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to open the floodgates. It's like it's a quirk about my character to an extent, is that he was taught at a certain point a couple of years ago to never give your real information to people that you don't know particularly well.
It's
And
okay, I
so that's
think
what he
it's
does.
No, I think
That's
it's
good
great.
information.
Floodgates are great. We're all here to have silly and be silly and have fun. Except me. I'm here to subsist off your misery. Okay. So you guys are now the proud guardians of the first auto gnome.
Word.
And Vera does say a little bit of a I don't want to say a tearful goodbye. She definitely seems to regard him with a professional distance, but you can tell as she's saying goodbye to him that she has been watching out for him for some time, likely since his creation, and is a little sad to see him go, but is telling him that on the move with a powerful group of people is often one of the best ways to stay safe. Which she seems accepting of, and quietly joins your group.
Immediately, Demos will take some, I have some traveler's clothes, and I'm just gonna dress him up to where he's.
Well, he is dressed up. Goob dressed him up earlier, so that y'all
earlier,
redress him in Goob manufactured a disguise that is very well
I
done.
got you. Okay. I thought
That
we
does
were
remind me,
seeing if
though.
we could, not if we did. I got you.
Do you have any illusion spells, like disguise spells or anything like that?
No, I checked for minor illusion earlier because I was going to show her everything I saw through Cuckoo's eyes, but obviously I can't.
Wait
I
a
don't have to show her right
second.
now.
Okay, remember this for the future. Echo does have minor illusion if we ever want to use it as a utility item and he's not here.
Interesting.
Is it a cantrip?
It is a cantrip.
Minor
You-
illusion is.
You can go ahead and use it if you want, since that doesn't burn any of his spell slots while he's not here. Because the cantrips can just be
Yeah, I'll
cast.
just throw a slightly more gnomish facade on like the little exposed bits of A1. Like it'd be all over his body, right? But I still want the clothes to remain over top it. It's more like anything that might potentially be exposed and look metallic.
I'm
Now
about to say
looks
this-
more sort of gnomish and fleshly.
Very helpful for his hands and his face and his eyes, things like that.
Right.
You can actually take the bandana off of his face.
Forgot about that. Cool.
Wow, you guys are professional. I like it. Okay, is there anything else you guys would like to? Well, sorry, I was got confused. Would tell you that that's actually very good news. You're all slided another pouch of 200 gold pieces, as was the deal she made. The other day she told you guys if you accepted that contract, you could have the other half of your payment that you didn't quite earn.
Nice.
Sorry, I'm writing that down before I forget.
That's money.
Get used to it in this game. That's all it's gonna be. It's
I'm
gonna be
rich,
great.
baby.
You are very rich. You could be richer. I want you guys to buy ship upon ship upon ship. Or steal, or overtake, or repair. I don't know.
All of the above?
All of the, yeah, I'm about to say, hopefully every
That's
one
it.
of them.
Jeez, I can only get so erect.
She tells you that she thinks this is going to be a good arrangement. You guys have done your best to help her, so you've done your best to help me so far, and I'm very thankful for that. I received a message from Bree recently, as it sounds like a couple of you had paid her a visit. Her and I will be discussing, now that you and I are going to be working closely, her and I will be discussing further means of employment for you all. Otherwise, I hope you all enjoy your day. I do have some work to do, and please, by the sovereigns, take care of A1.
Steak sauce. Thank you. Will be very well cared for. Steak sauce. You ever been clubbing? And I'm just gonna like start leading him away.
Farah looks just like maybe this much guilty, like that much guilty.
Oh. Are we? I assume we're doing that tonight. Yeah.
Clubbing?
Oh, am I the only one?
Everyone
Yeah,
dies,
clubbing.
sir.
I mean, I didn't know, like,
I mean, y'all spent the morning splitting up. Y'all had to go talk to Vera and sign the contract. If you go clubbing, you probably won't have time to talk to Sly. And today's the last day to talk to Sly. You also leave tomorrow for
Yeah.
the smuggling cut. I should say it's the last day to talk to him, but you just wouldn't
I mean,
be
but
back in time.
clubbing, like nightclubs implies that they're open late.
That's true.
Maybe go talk to Sly and then go clubbing after.
Oh, sorry. I was
Hey, buddy.
my son woke up, so I was putting him to bed. But yeah, we should definitely talk to Sly first,
Probably.
I think, and then oh hey,
Upper tax.
Okay.
because I think, and I won't speak for Goob. I think Goob could speak for himself, but that might be something we can do when we get back from our little shipment journey. I don't know if there's like an ETA or deadline on this goal.
No, yeah, I'm totally fine going to Sly and doing everything else first.
Okay. We'll head that way, but if you decide to do it tonight, I'm going to get it anyway, so I'm actually meeting somebody there. So I assume Sly is the Diamond Palace. Is that right?
The Diamond Theater? Yes, sir. He's there. Okay. You guys, are you...
On our way over, we need to discuss what exactly we're going to tell Sly and who's going to deliver it, because I feel like both of those things are important.
Oh, boy.
I will gladly tell Sly what you are willing to surrender. I believe that we're planning to tell him the system that the shipment is headed to, the asteroid belt, but not the specific location. Does that seem agreeable?
Yeah, as long as we also don't give timelines. I don't want him to know that it's going to be leaving in a day or that it's expected to arrive in 2 weeks. My greatest fear is that people might, if he delivers the information properly, people might get sent to intercept it, which is fine if you guys want to fight, but...
Yeah, I'm not opposed to a little friction, but I do get being cautious, especially now that we're carrying one of the most expensive secrets in the city. Could we perhaps mislead him with the timeline? Tell him that it's expected sometime next month, or throw him off if he does press for it.
That's exactly what I was hoping to do.
And it's going, just so I know correctly, it's actually going to the wrong brawl. But we're just going to tell him the system, and Devin, if you'll help me refresh my memory with that.
Well, that's the problem. There's only one system. Y'all inhabit wild space,
The
Eberron
system
space.
is not the right.
Yeah, there's only one solar system y'all are aware of.
Yeah.
And that's the one
There's
y'all
like
are in.
different. There's different planets and stuff. Is there like a name for this region? Like how
There
Saturn
would probably be
rings or-
quadrants or things like that. Well, at this time, cyberspace would not be entirely Eberron space, whatever you want to call it, would not be entirely mapped. I've been equivalating this to like the Caribbean, so like not all of the ocean is mapped, not all of wild space would
I
be
gotcha.
mapped.
And
Let me ask a larger question really quick. How large is the Raga Brawl? Like, is it
Has a city on it.
like is there just one? Okay, so it's an asteroid, right? There's just one port. I assume then, like one in, one out.
Most likely.
Okay, that's helpful.
I think he even said that that if it was headed to Wild Space, he would be happy to know that. I can't find exactly my notes right now. But he was very vague on what info we could, or he was happy to accept vague information. Yeah. Okay. Devin, remembering correctly, was that?
He said you could be pretty. He said you could be pretty vague. I don't know that he said you could just say space, considering that the whole fucking planet of Eberron is in space. Um,
We're always in space. Friggin' not Rick. Fuck, what's his name? Jerry.
oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm starting to wonder if he's fishing for specific information or if he's fishing for our capabilities of acquiring information in general. Because I think that if we could be semi-vague in what we deliver, but also prove that we can investigate and acquire some level of information, that's like a foot in the door.
Yeah.
Whenever you're
the
all
other things
ready.
he requested were he wanted to investigate if House Kenneth was ready to ship to have auto-known crews ready to ship, main ships. I don't think that they are at the moment, but they're working towards it. Are we willing to tell him that? They have several built, but they're not functional yet.
Yeah, I would say that relaying that information for me would be like they're close. I would just say they're close. I don't think they're quite ready.
Okay.
To clarify, the two crews you guys saw are functional. They're waiting on the pilots to finish magical training.
I stand
I
by
thought you
my
said
answer.
they were. I thought you said they were inert.
They're just different. They were in a powered off state when you saw them, and Vera has expressed that not all of them can pilot a Spelljammer, so not all of them
Yeah.
can talk.
So only the pilots are finishing up. I see.
Yes.
Okay. So crews
Yeah.
are ready.
Let's see. I have it written down about that. Yeah, he wants to know, determine if they are indeed prepared to start shipping autonomous crews to other houses, which technically they are. For House Tarkin, he wants to know where it is being moved to and when. So that one might be harder to tiptoe around, but I think he also said that if we could get him half of that info, that would be okay.
Also to talk to. He sent us to Bree Silverport, but that wasn't one of the things he wanted to learn.
Yes, that was the third thing. He wanted to know if those contracts existed.
That's right.
Which we do know they exist, but I don't know what level of consequences there would be for that.
Yeah.
Like we're not going to give him the info that's on the contracts, right? We just know that they exist. We know
I
that
wouldn't
there
tell
are
him
some
the
contracts.
quantity or the frequency, but that.
That seemed to be the most open-ended ask on his part to me anyway, as far as like, I think we could honestly just go up to him and say, contracts do exist. The details on them we don't know a lot about.
Gotcha. Okay, so vague, and see what we get. And if he presses, I think I'm just gonna not, say that was the best that we could acquire. This way we don't have to overplay our hand on what we do know. Sound good?
Yep, I'm down.
I'm gonna go meet my date, so y'all have fun.
Okay.
A1 should not go in the same room as Sly. If we can, hey, Zephyr, Echo, y'all are awfully quiet. Why don't y'all keep an eye on A1 in the lobby, or perhaps just outside the theater? There's a lovely little gelato place across the way. It's something marvelous. Jason, if you ever had gelato, you're gonna love it.
Didn't you say you were going to deliver the information to Sly? What are we doing here?
Yeah, I'm gonna drop my date off at the box and try to go over and.
I was just gonna say that if you all went, that Sly and the rest of you would wait in the box till after the show was over. Then, you guys could, upon seeing you enter Demos with the date, he He may not greet. He may not like walk across the room like, "Hey, Demo." You know, I hate when people do that shit. Ooh. But he may greet you cordially and leaves you alone for the duration of the show as your comrades trickle in and make their way up to the box where Sly usually sits. I would say at some point most of you probably all notice Cade show up and also make his way to the box. And yeah, so is that the plan? Is Demos and Zephyr going to stand outside with A1?
He
Zephyr
definitely should
and,
come in.
Zephyr and Echo, not Daedalus.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Okay, so what I'm hearing is y'all just don't want him to go in the room with Sly.
Yeah.
Okay, they will watch the
Preferably
movie.
not in the building because it's his building, but
Oh, okay, fair enough. They linger outside.
yeah.
If that's you guys feel strongly about that, that's fair enough. You guys, those of you that get there in time, some of you from the box, Demos groping his girlfriend in the back row, watch the five
We have
live.
a box. I grope her in a box. Let's be very clear.
Oh, you're
here.
gonna break. So
I got
you're
the
gonna.
premium tickets.
Oh, okay, fair. Oh, okay, I got you. You're right. Okay.
That could
Much
go
better.
very, very poorly, by the way. Be careful with your words.
All right, well.
Right.
I brought that one on ourselves. I apologize. You guys are treated to a show of the 5 lives. A bitter reflection on the tragedy of the last war, as seen through the eyes of 5 soldiers. Sly does the curtain speech and highly lauds the playwright Luca Sierra, who he proclaims.
Really important.
He
Luca
proclaims her as one of the best upcoming playwrights in Sharn, and it expresses his thanks that she is an in-house playwright. It is a phenomenal show that you all either deeply enjoy or entirely loathe, depending on how you feel about theater. And then, I imagine, Demos, is there anything you wanted to talk to Sybil or anything before or after the show? Otherwise,
We have as the show finishes and we begin to leave our box, we have a bit of conversation about what we thought, various aspects of the production, both technical and talent based. But I will sort of lead her towards Sly's box and say that we have a little bit of conversation to make. Just a moment. I'll meet you downstairs in just a short while. And I'll throw down some gold concessions. I don't know how much you want. 5 gold? I don't know what concessions would cost.
I mean, you're under the impression the theater is going to close after this show.
Yeah, I'm telling her to go down and get the last bit of popcorn, whatever. Same thing I do for y'all every night.
Fucking love popcorn. So she makes your way back down, and you make your way to the box where everyone you see your group, Sly and Cade, all sitting around, probably finishing eating. You guys probably treated to a meal again. Randy, half a bottle of whiskey in, and all that fun stuff.
Randy is me.
So as you come in, Sly greets you. Says, "Well, it's good to see yins have joined us. If y'all are ready, or I'm assuming y'all have all come back to cash in on some secrets. Is that correct?"
Quite.
Perfect. Now, he gets up himself and goes and closes the door, and comes back around to his part of the table. He says, "In the interest of making sure that this relationship is trustworthy and even, my compatriot Cade here has come to provide some services."
No?
So, first thing that Cade does is he takes out a spell scroll. He takes out 2 spell scrolls. He sets one down and he slides one over to you guys. And Sly tells you guys, he says, "The incantation on this here spell scroll is compels one to tell the truth."
Randy has put his thumb on the little, the flower joint joining the hilt to the front of his sword and sort of popped it out of the sheath a bit on his katana and is just sort of leaned back, and he is going to ready an action to pull it if things go real south real quick.
That's okay there, partner. Just listen for a moment. One of them scrolls is for you. one of yins, with the help of Cade, can likely cast the spell on me, and I will be glad to submit. But in return, Cade, not myself, shall cast a spell on you all, and he will know if if you choose to fight it or not. This way, having one of you cast the spell, you can be certain that I am under the influence. And I, likewise, can be certain you all are under the influence. Should any of you fight it, Cade will alert me to who can lie and who cannot. This way we may speak on even ground.
Interesting. I was saying, I was thinking I can keep the scroll and can learn it forever, but I cannot because it's not a wizard spell. This is Zone of Truth, I'm assuming, yeah?
Hard to know. I guess reading the scroll, yeah, it is Zone of Truth. I forgot the scroll's right there for you to read.
We could certainly cast it and make sure everything's on the up and up. We're giving a bit of information. I don't know how much he's going to be giving in return. This might be useful to have down the line if we choose to withhold it. We could also trust that Cade would tell us.
Well, that's
if Cade would tell us if he does pass or fail.
Well, no, that's the thing. Cade will help. I guess Goob is the only one that can do it. Cast the spell, and Goob will know if Sly passes or fails.
But I'm saying we could keep this Zone of Truth spell, a spell that none of us can learn, or at least not right now. Maybe not. Actually, it is a. Well, we don't have a bard. We don't have a paladin. I think those are the only two. We could keep this for another interrogation if we need to, if we trust Cade enough to tell us if Sly passes or fails. In fact, I might even ask him, Cade, this spell's a very important talent, and it would be quite useful with the requisition of information. Tell me, would you be willing to tell me honestly if Mr. Sly here resisted your spell's effects, as it is a radius?
Well, that is what I'm here for, friend, but you're thinking awful hard about it. Your friend there, he points at Goob, your friend there could do this at any time, I reckon.
Well, it would use a valuable resource of ours. This would allow us to do it a little more liberally.
Yeah, there are two spell scrolls there. So he has provided one for y'all and one for him. So you guys could cast this now. I mean, you're asking him to cast it instead. I mean, is that what I'm understanding?
All I'm asking Cade is, will you tell me if he resists the spell? Talking about Sly.
Well, of course, that is what I'm here for, friend.
Okay, can I make an instinct check to make sure that he's telling the truth? Sure. And encourage somebody else with high wisdom.
Yeah, I'll do the same.
Let's say I've got a +1. 18, not bad.
Oh shit, hang on, I think my roll 20 crashed.
Hit bad about that.
I don't know anything. I don't know anything about these magics, so I'm not gonna say what I would say.
Them there magics. That's all right, Buck. We'll kind of teach you along the way.
We're doing insight.
Oh, bravo for using Buck.
We're gonna try to keep up with whatever alias you're using.
Both Demos and Goob, to the best that you can tell, he seems to be telling the truth. You can't. He seems
He's
just
a
as
bard. You can never trust him.
Yeah, he seems just as open, and while he's not near as relaxed as when you first met him, but he does not seem tense in a way that leads you to believe that he's swindling people he just met. He does seem a little worried that there are 6 of you and 2 of them. But for Goob. I think Goob, you could pick that up.
Okay. As Goob is the only one who can cast the spell in our party, I would pass the scroll to him and say, I trust the man to be upfront with us if Sly tries to do anything devious. And perhaps we can pry some information out of whatever it is you and Mr. Buck were searching for. I guess I don't know you used Buck as an alias. And I think
So you're saying you would know because she would have. I think you said that she read them aloud.
Yeah.
I
I'm
see.
mistaken.
It's
Yeah,
kind of
you're
an
right, you're right.
introduction to y'all. Yes.
But so what you're implying is that we're gonna trust Cade to use Zone of Truth mutually. It's like an intermediary between us and Sly.
Well, yeah. So yes, and he would tell yes. Basically, save our
He
spell.
tells Sly if the person who's talking is lying in the same way that he would tell us if Sly is lying.
Well, so what happens is when the spell drops, it's a radius. So all of us in 15
Gotcha.
feet of Cade, or wherever he puts it, are affected. And Cade knows if people resist or if they fail. And we can willingly choose to fail, and he will tell us if Sly is
Has done this.
trying to pass.
I just want to state for the record that Randy sat in the farthest back chair in the corner.
15
small
foot
box,
radius.
friend.
Yeah, I was about to say it's a box. 15
They
foot
always
radius makes this
Anyway.
a big spell.
Nobody puts book in a box.
Oh god. Okay. If you're all, if the group is okay with that, that will be the plan. Cade and Sly have no.
Goob, if you want to add that to your inventory, since you're the only one who can cast it.
Yeah. So is there an official name? Because I can't find it.
If you add spell scroll, you'll have to rename it, but you can rename it to Zone of
okay.
Truth. I think it's a second level spell.
It is second level spell.
That's what I did with the
You
ones
can
I
get
got.
the details for it. Like if you're gonna change a spell, it should be under the list of spells you can currently equip, for lack of a better term. So you can go read it there if you need to. It's
And
pretty
which
cool.
level was this?
It's a second level
Second
spell.
spell. Second level. Second circle, as we say in more.
I should clarify that
Demonic.
if things do pop off because I rated an action, I'm gonna pull my katana on Cade, not Sly.
Okay, fair enough.
Oh.
Cade looks rather intimidated. Cade, eyeing your katana, uses his spell scroll to cast Zone of Truth. Takes a couple minutes because he's reading off a scroll instead of casting a spell. But you all do feel the effect kind of roll over you. Is anyone attempt to pass?
What do you mean attempt it? Like,
You can
is
make
there
a save.
DC?
You could
it's a
you
spell
could try
save
to
DC.
pass it to where you could lie, but Cade would know if you did.
Cade's
and he
gonna
would
know
tell
either
Sly.
way if you passed or failed.
Granted, if you're not planning on doing a lot of talking, I don't think it would make much of a difference. But
That's what I'm curious about. You know what? I'm gonna try to pass it just to see if he conveys to Sly whether or not somebody attempted
Okay.
to pass.
Oops,
What do I have to roll?
bad.
At least you know how to do a thing now.
yeah.
It's a DC. It's a Wisdom save, or was that what it says?
Oh,
Is it a Wisdom save? Come on, Devin. It's on here somewhere.
the DC equals 12, but it doesn't say what
Well,
stat
that's like a
it's for.
generic. It's like a generic. Like 12 is what it is for that. Like it changes based on the spellcaster's level. It doesn't say what it is.
Okay.
Does it? I'm pretty sure it's Wisdom. Almost positive. Oh, because that's the.
Alright.
scroll.
Zone of Truth, it is wisdom. Wisdom save.
All right, I'll roll it.
Oh. Oh, you fail, unfortunately.
That's
that
fine.
Was very close.
Let's see what happens.
I lied. It's a charisma save.
Oh, you can reroll
sorry.
if you want. I mean, I didn't look at this. So shame on me.
I will do that because I have a
That's
+2 in charisma.
Oh, okay.
Does that pass?
You
Good
do,
gauge for
you do
Cade.
not you do not feel the same kind of blanket over you as the rest of your compatriots do. And as the spell, there's not really a lot of visual representation for this. Maybe somewhat of a cleric-y looking theme, some golden light of some kind. Yeah, maybe there's almost like this miniature sun floats in the middle of the table that casts light around the entire room. And as it settles, Cade looks around and he points to Randy and he says, "That one can lie, sir. The rest of yous cannot."
He's
you
not
go.
planning on doing much of the talking anyway, so I think that'll work.
I apologize
Yeah,
for
you
him,
guys-
but
you,
he does pay me well and afford me many opportunities.
No, understood completely, Cade. No hard feelings. You said that Mr. Sly did not attempt to resist. Is that correct?
Absolutely.
Just want to.
It's in
Can I
his-
insight check? No, I'm kidding.
It is also in his interest that this communication is open and honest.
Well, Mr. Sly, what would you like to delve into first? Which subject is most intriguing to you?
I don't have a particular preference. I am interested to hear about the rumors. I'm interested to hear all of it, but I was particularly invested in the rumors about House Talking. It's unusual
Well-
for organizations like that to obtain a large amount at once.
Well, we are aware that Tarkanan does plan to have a shipment sent off planet in the future.
Interesting. Off planet is not here. That much is true.
It's not Breland, it's not Sean, it's not many places. Nails down your search quite a bit. I believe we saved you a whole planet of searching at least.
It is something. Very well. What of the supposed contracts coming into one Bree Silverport?
Utilizing connections with the university, I was able to confirm that such contracts exist.
And that is all.
Well, I've used my contacts at the university for many things. To say that's all is a broad statement, so no, I can't say it's all.
You learned only that they exist. How did you
Oh,
come?
actually,
how
I
did you
learned
come
a
by
new
this
spell the
fact?
other day. I could tell you quite a bit about it. I learn things quite frequently.
Not answering my question there, friend. How did you learn that these?
Doing my
exist?
best to. He says unconscious, like I'm not meaning to, but.
He says partner, not friend.
In the interest of honesty, my connections to the university make me hesitant to overshare. I'm afraid that was as much as I have attained for you.
Sly gives a very big smile, and then moves on. He says, "Then there's only one other thing I believe I asked about." My brain's breaking. Oh no.
I don't know, Cruz.
Yeah. What have you all learned about the machinations of House Kenneth?
As we understand it, they do have at least a few crews ready to be sent out. They are waiting for the completion of a particular autonome for each battalion to be sent off and fully ready to manage the Spelljammer. Spelljammer? We are calling them like that's public, yeah? Okay.
That's what they're called.
I was about to say, like, fuck, was that a no for sure?
There are spell jammers. That's how the off-worlders got here. Well, interesting. Okay, y'all, you managed to give him all of those things without lying. I was impressed.
You danced for a second. I'm proud of you.
That was nervous. I'm like, ooh, choose words carefully.
I was this close to interjecting since I could lie and be like, listen, if you want to know the truth, I broke in and I saw the documents, but I can't read.
Only one part of that's a lie.
I love everything of that. It's so funny.
So he kind of nods. He says, well, I have been much less impressed by many others. I believe y'all were promised 300 gold pieces apiece for this information, or did I say 4? I fiddled with numbers so much. I think we're gonna go with.
Yeah, I think it's right. 3.
I think we're gonna go with 3, because I remember thinking that other things should have been worth more. So he does distribute to you guys 900 gold pieces. Slide that in quick.
900 each? 900
I do not
total.
believe his was each. His was per piece of information.
Okay.
And
That's still like 150 each if we want to go ahead and split it the 6 ways.
I'm gonna put it in game notes as 900 total, and I'll split it later when I'm doing the spreadsheet. But he
I was about
says,
to say, make sure you mark it different than the 200 that's in there, because those are for each.
oh wow. Well,
party gold.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna put. Anyway, he does tell you guys, I appreciate what you have brought me. You have surpassed my expectations. Is there anything else Yins would like to offer for more coin?
I want to
Likewise,
telepathically.
now is your
Sorry.
chance to ask me things you may be wondering. Before we move
Yeah.
on to our next facet of business.
I'm gonna telepathically ask Deimos if he wants to ask him what he plans to do with the information.
My comrades and I are intertwined with many of the organizations that you are researching. We couldn't help but shake a genuine curiosity about what your interests lie in each of these. Do you plan to intercept the shipment of House Cannon?
Oh, hell no. I'm not interested in sticking my fingers in so many delicate matters.
I stuck my finger in something delicate in that box right over there. I'm not.
I'm aware, sir.
I'm sorry, I could not resist.
Not that box's first time, I promise, bud.
Oh no.
I finally broke Joey.
Oh God, we're done. I can't.
I'm crying now. Anyway, do you you saw information on Bree Silverport's dealings? Are you do you know what she's working on?
Working on.
I have to explain. That's a no.
I was hoping Yins would return with the information of what the dust is for. It sounds like you may know. That could be worth something to me, but was not a part of our current deal.
What we know is undefined, strictly speaking. Perhaps as things come to light, we might return to that subject later.
Very well. Is there anything else Yins would like to ask me before we discuss more lucrative opportunities? I will
I'll reach
say,
out.
hence y'all's suspicion. This information does not move up past me. In this particular scenario, I am not beholden to carry it to my benefactors. And I have no... What's the word he wants to use? I have no plans.
Loyalties?
Well, I have no plans or at this time any drive to do anything with this information.
At this time. Deimos will telepathically message each of the party members and be like, anything else for the man?
You start making hand signs for spells, and Kate is like you watch him reach for a wand, like till he sees the spell.
Can I do an initiative check to see if
Boom,
I
boom,
get
boom.
paid?
This now just Pirates of the Caribbean. There's like Sly's got one out, Kate's got one out, you've got one out.
Just the fucking office meme of like.
Yeah, I mean, I do want to know. Like, I think I'd reach out and be like, we should find out who his benefactors are. Like, who does he directly report to if we can?
I think that's a steep ask, but
It is a steep ask.
I will ask. Also, message is a verbal spell, so I just basically like whispered loudly to each of them.
That's why I was telepathically trying to reach out to you instead of speaking.
No, and I thought like I was like, oh, I can do that too, and I'm like, oh, not quite telepathy.
Or if you
Behold
don't want
to
to
your
ask that,
benefactor. Well, we'll see what he does, because it's a good question. you said that there may come a time that you are beholden to your benefactors. These must be fairly powerful to be in search and pursuit of such sensitive information. I want to make sure that you're on the up and up, as you're quite hard to get some info on, as many of our contacts have informed us. Who are exactly these benefactors? This is a theater. Normally you say them in the curtain speech, but I was listening and I didn't quite catch it this time, so I just want to make sure I'm...
Firstly, partners, you misunderstand. My benefactors are not aware that I hold this information. I sought this out of my own accord.
Oh no, I understand. I'm just wondering who those particular benefactors are.
Secondly, it could be arranged for Yinzal to know. We may discuss that momentarily. I cannot say at this time. He holds up his wrist, where his contract is tattooed on him. But, in time, Yinzal could learn. And it is, I have been told. Oh, well, never mind. He wouldn't say that because that's not the case. But he says that it's not something I can freely say.
I'm satisfied.
Now, I can say he just... Oh, Echo's not in here. It's not anybody that House Thorane has blacklisted or not worked with before. Now, if any of yous don't have any more questions, speak now, forever hold your peace. I would like to discuss future business arrangements. He does take out a contract and slide it over to you guys. And you actually notice that this one is not magical. It seems to be a regular legal contract. He says, I will go ahead and point out. He points to a section. And you can see the line starts with, the part he's pointing at says, by the power vested in me, Sly, and then a bunch of blur after that. You can't see, no matter how hard you try to focus on his title, some of the names that come after that, you just can't seem to grasp it to read it. And he points this out immediately upon putting the contract down. He says, this is a safety precaution for all involved. Were you allowed to read this before you signed the contract? Well, let's just say that some people not quite as friendly as I would be coming to look for that memory and yank it out of your head. Now, should you agree to these terms, my employer and my position shall be revealed to you. You will be able to read it upon this document, and we could speak more openly about these things. Now, down to the...
Basically, like an NDA. Like...
Not exactly. It's the only magical part of the contract is that once you had signed it, you would be able to read that line, and he would be at more liberty to explain some things to you guys.
So to clarify, you can read the rest of it. You can read the terms of the contract.
Yes.
You just cannot read the terms of who the contract reports to.
Yeah, and the particular line is that he's going to explain here in a second. But the particular line is that power is being vested to you guys to do something by a certain organization. You just can't read that.
But what is the something? What is the
That's
meat
what
of it?
he says, this piece of this document here would outfit you all with a ship, equipment, resources, and the power and authority to conduct clandestine and espionage organizations. By the power, I invest this power in you guys by the power of my station. If you all wished, you would be employed under Cosmic Eye investigations and fed contracts from my employers. You already have a nice resume. You have proven to me that you can withhold information that may prove dangerous to yourselves or to those you hold loyalty to. you were all carefully selected for these challenges and have proven yourselves to be quite possibly an adequate agency.
I have to say, when he says carefully selected, I kind of like side-eye-cade. Just like, this motherfucker just picked us up out of the fucking bazaar. We were...
You say that?
I trusted your accent, you piece of crap.
Damn. No, I don't say it, but I do
No,
give him a little
actually.
side of that.
Cade looks a little guilty when Slide says that. He like I said, he looks a little tense. Like you get the idea that he is doing this because of the connections and the money, the pay that Sly pays, the connections that Sly allows, but maybe not necessarily that he is buddy with Sly.
I gotcha.
He says, I understand this is a major life decision. You're not expected to answer anytime soon, but I would like a yes or no. On the chance I need to acquire new people, there's a particular line of off-planet investigation that we would like a, I don't want to call y'all a puppet organization. We would like an independent agency to handle for us.
So we don't like puppet organization either.
And to clear this up, like, this contract does not make you guys a puppet organization. So the way contract worked is you guys are given the authority to be an espionage organization, to be an investigative organization. You guys can take whatever jobs you want. You conduct yourselves however you please. All of that equipment and the ship and stuff is yours, unless you break the contract. And then all the contract allows for them to do is come take their shit back. So
it's not like you break the contract and you come get murked. It's more like you get a special badge, and then if you break the contract, you lose
your
your
badge
power.
is taken.
You get repoed. Yeah.
Yes. No, it is very much a business-oriented contract. Like, you can have this business to do this thing at your leisure, but the expectation is you will do some of the things that the benefactor has asked, and that you conduct yourselves in a way they find acceptable.
I think I would. Can I chime in?
I'm sure you can.
I think I just want to be like, I don't know you particularly well, brother, but I kind of feel like I need to know who I'm beholden to and what happens if I don't exactly follow through the way they expected.
Partner, if I tell you, and you guys decide no, I am contractually obligated to tear that memory out of your head afterwards.
And are we going to be contractually obligated to give whoever whatever they wanted?
No. There's nothing in the contract demanding you give over your life, soul, or possessions. Just that the understanding is you are given these things with the understanding that you would accept missions handed down. Actually, I can tell you that the first mission is to retrieve an artifact off-world.
Alright, I got one last question for you. What happens if the information that we acquire is in direct conflict with our personal interests? It seemed like you were willing to keep the things we talked about here more of a test versus direct passing, if that makes sense. But I'm gonna choose my personal loyalties over anything you got going on. I hope you understand that.
Well, why else would you have been selected, partner? From my understanding of the situation, there should not be any... should not coincide whatsoever. I cannot speak on anything y'all may discover or turn up in your line of work, but at this time, think of what you have given me as insurance.
Personally, I'm leaning toward yes.
Yeah, fair enough.
I mean, like, we get to see the names in the contract before it's permanent.
No.
And if we don't like it, he wipes our memory, but... So we have to sign it before we see the parties.
Yeah, Yeah.
We can see the terms. We can't see the parties that are involved.
Because that's the thing. If he told you guys and you guys said no, then he would be obligated to start.
Interesting. Deimos will hold up a hand to the party to signal them to wait a moment. He'll pick up the contract and sign it. I'm going to read the names. Not aloud. Just see if there's anything that I know based on my understandings of House Thorani and Tarkanan and Moorgrave. I'm trying to think if we have any other big ties. And just see if there's anybody that raises any red flags.
I'm trying to say if they'd be smart enough to prevent that or not. Like multiple lines on the contract, but
Bro, you're crazy. But
That's
also,
I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to
I don't know.
telepath anything. I'm just...
I don't know. I kind of think I like that better because now you're gonna be able to see it. And Sly looks a little surprised that you just kind of up and do this, and he cuts a look at Cade, who begins to kind of sidle around the side of the room towards the door. He says,
Do we feel the effect of the zone of truth?
No. He literally
Cease?
just positions himself in front of the door. And Sly says, that was a gutsy choice there, partner. You can see, after signing the contract, that power is invested in you by Sly, Director of Foreign Affairs. The Royal Eyes of Undare. I don't know if any of you guys from Eberron would understand this to be another CIA MI6 KGB equivalent. They are the government espionage organization for the nation of Undare.
Repeat the name again. It was the Director of Affairs for, what was it? The Eyes of...
Undare.
The Eyes of Undare.
Yeah, the state. It's actually Breland's greatest, that's their... It's, I don't know if I would say, it's not America versus Russia. I think it's supposed to be more like America versus Canada, but there's no, direct analogies or anything. It is Breland's direct rival.
So it's like CIA and MI6.
More or less. I'm trying not to give each espionage an allegory like that, but that's a good way to think about it.
I
feel like we should ask him about the Dark Lantern.
Well, you guys don't know what's on the contract. Demos does now, and you can see Sly not looking tense, but after you read it and set it back down, he'll say, now, partner, I guess the spell is still going. I would be glad to take that memory and only that memory, if and that is over your head.
Demos chews on it for a good second. Doesn't move his hands. Doesn't want him to think he's sending any spells or anything, but... I believe this is not a deal breaker for me. I don't have direct reason to believe it would be a deal breaker for my compatriots. Is that fair to say? Yeah, I say that's part aloud.
Okay, I'm immediately gonna telepathically reach out and be like, "What's on it?"
Deimos starts sweating visibly, I don't know. I don't think I would say it back. Nothing out of our. Well, I was gonna say nothing out of our depth, but I'm also in a zone of truth, and that's not at all true.
Demos isn't sure he believes that.
What is on that?
No way you're gonna do. You slip up here, y'all gonna fight this box. It's gonna be bad.
Oh yeah.
No, I don't want to do that.
Yeah, I don't think I will respond. I'll abstain. And I'll say aloud. I'll say aloud to Sly, this. I don't think this is cause for concern for any of us. I understand that should we cease to accept contracts, the only recompense is the vessel is taken, correct?
Well, the vessel, the equipment, your authority to enact espionage missions, things like that.
Yes. The equipment meaning
the ship, everything on the ship essentially.
I gotcha. The cargo, the
The
stuff to
gear,
operate the ship.
the way that you would the way that he said it, you all would understand. He's not only the ship; he would be providing like items and things that make espionage work easier. Comms, for lack of a better term, things to help you sneak. Like
I'm on board.
he essentially is planning to outfit you guys as a spy agency.
I'm on board.
Hey, I asked some pretty probing questions earlier too about like what the consequences were and whether or not he would be okay with us not divulging information that was essentially intimate or delicate to us. And so based on those responses and the fact that I trust Deimos because we have had conversations and I've trusted his judgment so far, I'm going to walk up, put a hand on his shoulder, and I'm going to say, do you think it's all right? I guess I'm going to think it's all right too. And I will sign Buck Ramble on the piece of paper.
Go book yourself.
Well, upon seeing the signature, both Cade and Sly like arch an eyebrow at you, but don't say anything.
Yeah, they know, but they don't know.
You then see KGB in big red letters at the top of the fucking.
Yeah, no, it is. Like I said, I'm not trying to give directs, but I would think of them much closer to CIA or MI6 than I would KGB.
Not working against each other overtly, but not on the same team per se either.
And then I'll look at Cade and I'll say, no hard feelings, partner. I still like the cut of your jib, and I'll wink at him a little bit. And then I'll just sort of hang out by Deimos.
I didn't even know he was biologically able to wink. That is fascinating.
That's
Deimos pulls out
not.
his
The eyelids close this way versus this way.
Yeah.
I
Love
just
it.
realized there's two of you who are not there to sign.
Well, Goop is here.
Yeah, I can sign.
And technically, I represent Echo as a legally binding party representative.
I like to think that Goob's signature, like the plasmoid arm, just like touches the paper, and a few of the letters like float up, like the ink just detaches, and it just sloops back together and over the signature line.
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
Ben, are you back, my dude?
The old Goob stamp.
Wonder if Ben fell asleep.
I was wondering that too. You're on mute.
If he has the, I don't know if Barb has the kids or not, but if he does, he may have got tied up with them.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Or I guess if he don't have the kids, he might have been drinking since he got home. I know I would be. So like, yeah.
2 kids by yourself for a prolonged period, yeah.
Yeah. You've got 3 of 6 though. If that's any consolation.
I mean,
We can. I mean,
I would think based on that alone, Brandon would probably sign.
I think so too. And to be honest, I think because I'm sorry, we're 30 minutes past. I'm ashamed. What I think we're going to do is we're going to try to pick up there next week with more people just to see how it'll be really cool to drop, I think, back in where 3 of you have signed on to do this, and the Ben and Barb are going to be like, oh God. Which I imagine, I'll stop my recording since we're done. Thank you all for coming. Good night.